Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
By giving, people will be helping Nationwide Children's Hospital find cures, brighten patients' holidays, and people will be able to support their neighbors when they need it most. When they donate, they will activate in real time a butterfly-inspired light show for patients this holiday season. They will add holiday cheer to the lives of kids who really need a reason to smile. No one wants to think about their child being sick, but should that day come, the donation they make this year could help the care their child could need in the future. Please give now at nationwidechildrens.org/give.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Hey guys, this is Matt Seidel, and you're listening to Keepin' It Strong Style.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin' It Strong Style. Let's go. It's the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin' It Strong Style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Josh. Come and hit a job out in Barrio the Frogs. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style, the Ace of Podcasts on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan here with Ethan Black from PWMania.com, filling in for the young boy Josh Smith this week. On today's show, we'll review the first 7 nights of the World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League Tour and cover all latest news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can support our show by subscribing and following the Social Suplex Podcast Network or Keeping It Strong Style on the podcast app of your choice and leaving a rating and review. You'll also get all the podcasts over at socialsuplex.com. Check out our Pro Wrestling Tees store, prowrestlingtees.com/socialsuplex. That's where you can get your official Keeping It Strong Style t-shirt. If you enjoy this podcast, please consider making a one-time or monthly donation by visiting socialsuplex.com/donate and clicking the donate button under the Keeping It Strong Style logo. This week's episode is brought to you by the NJPW EXT, the only browser extension for NJPWWorld.com. We have features like dark mode, improved translations and layouts, custom and shared playlists, synchronized viewing parties, and much, much more. It takes NJPW World to the next level. You can visit njpwext.us today for details. Ethan, how you doing, man?
Good. How about yourself, Derek, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Thanks for coming on to the show and filling in for the young boy this week.
Oh, no problem. Big fan of the show. I'm glad to be honored to be on the show.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, man. So, whenever we have new guests, we always like to we have our new guest questions that we always ask. So, first of all, man, tell listeners when you started watching New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So I got into New Japan about 2009. I wasn't watching like every show. I was watching like the G1, all the tournament action, Wrestle Kingdom. It was about 2011, I got fully in New Japan, watching like every show, every road tour, tournament action. Take a break from WWE.
like most of us.
Oh yeah. I'm still watching WWE, but I just need something else beside them in TNA.
So with that, who is your favorite New Japan wrestler?
Will Ospreay.
Nice.
Absolutely. Walking 5-star banger.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that. And then what about your favorite New Japan match?
Oh, that's a tough one. I gotta go with a fellow Canadian, Kenny Omega, and Kazuchika Okada, Wrestle Kingdom 2017.
Nice. Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of the Omega Okada matches.
No, you can't. Bangers. Every time. Bangers.
Well, Ethan, you're coming on for very interesting episode here as we cover the World Tag League and the Super Junior Tag League, and we were talking about before we recorded, this is the time of the year when a lot of people check out and are counting on us for the review, and I know you do a lot of stuff for PWMania and what's the other site you write for?
Pro Wrestling Post.
Yeah, Pro Wrestling Post. I know you've been keeping up with all the Tag League stuff, so I'm glad to have you on here to help the listeners, get caught up what's going on with Tag League.
It's my honor, brother. Let's get started.
Yeah. So we'll start with the World Tag League, and so we're not going to give you guys the match by match hold by hold breakdown for all these matches. Like I said in the intro, there were 7 nights of tournament action, so we're going to talk about each team, kind of their journey so far in the tournament, let you know where they're at points wise, and then after we go through all the Tag League, World Tag League, we'll jump to Super Junior Tag League, and then look at the schedule for the next upcoming week. So we'll start here with Aussie Open. Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher, they're on top of the World Tag League block right now with 6 points. They are 3-0. On night 2, Aussie Open, they defeated the Bebop tag team, which is Tanahashi and Toru Yano. On night 5, they defeated Bishamon, that's Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, 15 minutes, 18 seconds. And then on night 6, they defeated the Suzuki-gun team of Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki at 13 minutes and 34 seconds. Ethan, what have you thought of Aussie Open so far?
I think they've been great. They're one of my top picks. I hope to make to the finals. The Bebop tag team match wasn't too bad, but I'm not a big fan of Toriano anymore. Or Tanahashi got picked with the comedy geek of Chaos. And then the Bishamon match was, I'd say out of 3 so far, that's probably my favorite one. The one with Bishamon and Aussie Open.
Yeah, the Bishamon match was definitely the best of this set here. That's kind of the top right now, the top domestic tag team in Japan facing off against Aussie Open. And I think we've seen since Aussie Open has come in that it's pretty much, all about Aussie Open. They've been getting a big push since they lost to FTR. They've won everything in Japan. So definitely a lot of focus here on building up Aussie Open and also, getting them ready. They're the favorites. Like you mentioned, a lot of people are expecting them to win and to face off against FTR at the Dome.
Yeah, I can agree with everybody who thinks that they're going to be at least in the finals. I hope they do win. Spoiler, that's who I'm hoping to win. The Suzuki gun match was pretty good too. But I hope, actually, to be honest with you, Archer should stay in New Japan. It says going in and out of AEW.
Yeah, Lance Archer seems to fit in just so well in New Japan. I don't know what it is, but he stands out. It feels like home with Archer in New Japan, especially in the World Tag League. For years he was in it with Davey Boy Smith, Killer Elite Squad, but yeah, the crowds love him. When they are cheering crowds, because we've had a mixed tour so far where some shows have been cheering, some have not been. But yeah, the fans always ooh and ah when he's out there. He gets big reactions from the crowds. That they pop big for his choke slams and all his big moves and stuff like that. So yeah, he does feel so much more as a New Japan guy versus when he is in AEW because they use him so sparingly there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm a big fan of Archer. Like, I found he's great in New Japan. AEW just comes in and out when basically TK calls him. But I think, honestly, in my opinion, he should stay in New Japan. He's an absolute beaster. Like you said, the fans, when they're cheering, love him there. They go crazy for the choke slam. I hope he does more tours in New Japan, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, I've thought the presentation of Aussie Open has been great, and they've been getting Gideon Gray doing, their ring intros. He's been doing the intros for all of the United Empire, which has been great. And so, yeah, they've presented these guys as a super strong tag team. They've been super dominant these 3 nights, and then on the off nights on the undercard. So, yeah, they're heating these guys up and getting them over with the Japan crowd.
I love Gideon Gray out there. He's great. He's great.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Gideon is hilarious, and he's getting over as well. Like, he's getting huge reactions from the cheer crowds whenever he comes out, and people are super into his act right now.
I like when he's out there with them. It's just he makes me laugh every time I see him out there.
Yeah, he's great. All right, so let's talk about the next team here. We have the team from LIJ, Tetsuya Naito and Sanada, who have 4 points. They are currently 2-1 on night 2. They defeated the United Empire team of Aaron Henare and Great Okan. Then on night 5, they defeated the LA Dojo team of Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd. And then on night 6 is where they got that one loss. They lost to the Bishamon team of Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. So what have you been thinking about Naito and Sanada so far?
They've been pretty good so far. I'm a little surprised they actually beat the United Empire. I actually thought the United Empire would get the win over LIJ. And then the Coughlin Gabriel Kidd, I'm not surprised they got a win over them where they're coming out of the dojo. And then the Bijamon from night 6, that match I thought that was pretty good. I gave it 7 out of 10. A little surprised they took the loss, though. I actually thought LIJ would get the win there, be tied with Aussie Open.
Yeah, that's a pretty big win there for Bishamon. I know that these guys have kind of feuded in the past when Sanada and Naito were doing their tag run before, but yeah, still kind of a big win for Naito and Sanada, or excuse me, for Goto and Yoshihashi, especially with Naito and Sanada being on this tour and kind of being two of the top guys that are on the tour. Yeah, still kind of a big win for them, and really establishes them as, like I was saying earlier, as one of the top, domestic tag teams.
Yeah, especially like when Naito we're getting that usual storyline where he's trying to find a big match for Wrestle Kingdom. Hopefully he can find it. I don't know if it'd be for the tag titles. I doubt it. But hopefully we could get Naito on the Wrestle Kingdom card.
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing him being shoehorned into a tag title match at the Dome, and I feel like, obviously, with it being Naito and Sanada, this team's going to have to kept strong in this tournament, and especially going towards the Tokyo Dome. But I don't think they're going to win, and I think this loss to Bishamon is going to be one of the key losses for them, something that's probably going to keep them out of the finals.
Yeah, I think LIJ would be still in the running to be at least for the finals, but they might get to the finals, but I personally don't think they will.
Yeah, I mean, they could, but yeah, I have a hard time seeing them beating them in the finals. I think that we're going to get some kind of tie scenario, and then that loss to Bishamon, I feel it's going to be the thing that keeps them from advancing.
Yeah, I do too. I think, I like them as a team, and I know they're former IWGP Tag Champs, but I don't think they'll be in the. They might make finals, but if not, I think they'll be at least top 3-4 teams in the night there with multiple points.
Yeah, and there really hasn't been a whole ton of story elements going on with these guys. It's just Naito and Sanada, your two top guys, winning matches and looking strong in their matches. They really haven't done a whole ton of stories or any kind of themes with their matches. I guess the big thing was in that matchup against Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd. You kind of had the interactions with Gabe Kidd and Naito. Gabe Kidd is doing, taunting Naito with his LIJ, the LIJ pose, and he's taunting the fist at him, kind of thing. But besides that, not a whole ton of story elements here for these guys.
No, I made the kid Goblin. Gabriel Kidd Alex Coughlin match. I don't know. I just combined both their names together by accident. That was funny where Naito's trying to do the Tranquilo and Gabriel Kidd's like, sure. Oh, dude. Well, I thought he was punching him at first. I'm like, oh wait, he's making fun of him. Never mind. Well, he was fist pumping or something, and then Naito's just like, no, I'm not taking your shit.
Exactly. But yeah, Naito and Tanada, definitely going to be a team to watch going forward. But like we're saying, I don't feel like they're going to make it to the finals. I think they'll definitely be in the running going into the last day. But like I said, I think that this loss from Bishamon is going to be the key that keeps them out of the finals.
I think so too. I think that's going to, if Bishamon still, we'll talk about more when we get them, but that's probably how they're going to get out, is by that loss to Bishamon there.
Yeah. So the next team we have is Minoru Suzuki and Lance Archer. They're also at 4 points with 2 wins and 1 loss. On night 2, they defeated the Bullet Club team of Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. Then on night 5, they defeated the Bebop tag team of Tanahashi and Toru Yano. And then on night 6, they lost to the Aussie Open team of Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis.
Suzuki-gun, my favorite group right now in New Japan. I like the combo between Suzuki and Archer. I'm not surprised they beat both Fale and Chase, because it's Fale and Chase. And then Bebop tag team, not surprised because they don't like Yano. Tanahashi, I know I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, but get a new partner, please. Please. I like Tanahashi. I did like Yano, but it's just like, oh my God, Yano, go away. Tanahashi, please get a new partner for next year. And then the Aussie Open match, I like that match. I gave it about 6, 7 out of 10. This one was hard for me to pick. I like both teams. I'm like, oh, who do I pick? But it was one of those picks. I wasn't mad who won or lost, but it was a good match. I wouldn't mind seeing them actually doing a rematch again.
Yeah, all of these Suzuki matches have been pretty solid, and kind of like we were talking about earlier of Archer. It feels like he's at home when he's in New Japan, and him and Suzuki have also gelled real well together. They won, I think it was either the 2011 or 2012 G1 Tag League before it switched over to being called the World Tag League. So they've won a tag league together before. Also a ton of experience teaming together. We've seen them even team on AEW in the past year and on New Japan Strong when they were feuding with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. So also a ton of experience together as a team. So they work really well together. Again, solid matchups. The crowd into a lot of the stuff that they're doing. And yeah, the Aussie Open match, probably out of these 30 matches, probably the best match that they've had in this stretch of shows. But yeah, you can't really complain about Archer and Suzuki. And again, not really a ton of story here with these guys either. It's just Archer and Suzuki just, trying to kill their opponents and kill all the young lions at ringside.
Yeah, I agree. But out of the Suzuki-gun combos, is actually one of my favorites. The Aussie Open match, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch. And I remember they won the 2011 G1 Tag League before switch over to the World Tag League.
Yeah.
But I like that part of the match for Fletcher, which is like, come on, Suzuki, hit me. Let's go, Suzuki. I'm like, you're crazy, Kyle. You're crazy, man.
Yeah, Kyle was trying to have his real man moment there and trying to, bow up and man up to Suzuki, and he fired off a chop and Suzuki kind of brushed it off, and then Suzuki drilled into him. So yeah, it's good little interactions there, and also get a little nuance there, character nuance for Kyle Fletcher. And of course, in the Bullet Club match, you always have the big face off between Archer and Fale. We've kind of seen the history between those guys as well, and the crowd always seems to be in when those two big guys are going at it.
Yeah, at least Suzuki didn't call him a young boy like he did Cross. Sorry, I gotta make that joke. I'm sorry, make that joke.
No, you're good, man. You're always welcome to bury Karrion Kross on this show.
Thank you.
So Archer and Suzuki have been looking pretty good here. They're tied with Naito and Tanada, and I'll see if Archer having that, the AEW kind of rub, he's going to also be made to look strong. Suzuki was the one that ate the pin in the Aussie Open match, so I expect Archer and Suzuki to end up pretty high towards the block, but I don't think they'll make it to the finals.
I don't think they'll make the finals here. I think they get their 4. I can see them getting at least maybe 10, 12 points, maybe.
Yeah, I can just see 10 because that would make them 5 and 4. So I can definitely see them ending up in a spot like that.
I wouldn't mind seeing them actually having one more, another IWGP tag title run. I know they never held it together, but I wouldn't mind seeing them as tag champs.
Yeah, and if this was any other time of the year, I would say, yeah, cool. Let's give Archer and Suzuki a run at the titles, but because we're building up to the Dome and just the history with Aussie Open and FTR, I think that's the direction to go in right now. But I think when you're looking into next year, I think definitely having, if TK is going to let Archer do some more New Japan tours, I think definitely having Archer and Suzuki as potential challengers or even giving them a run some point next year could be cool.
I would love to see that.
Well, let's take a look at the next team here, and that's going to be the Bishamon team of Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, coming in with also 4 points, tied up there with Suzuki-gun and Naito and Sanada. So they're 2-1 on night 2. They defeated the House of Torture team of Evil and Yujiro Takahashi. Then on night 5, they lost to Aussie Open. And then on night 6, came back with a win, like we mentioned earlier, defeating Naito and Sanada.
So last year's winners of World Tag League, like I said, they with LAJ, I was surprised they actually beat LAJ. And then House of Torture, good. Don't care about House of Torture. Get them out of here. No, tired of their crap. And then Aussie Open, like I said, when we were talking about Aussie Open earlier, that was actually one of my favorite matches of World Tag League so far.
Yeah, that's probably, we mentioned, one of the better matchups from the World Tag League side of things. Near 4-star action for me. And again, it's the top domestic tag team facing off against one of the top foreign tag teams there. And like you mentioned, Bishamon, they were the World Tag League winners last year. And that was something that Aussie Open brought up when they defeated Bishamon. We beat the World Tag League winners last year, and now we're just on a roll and ready to go and, moving on to the next team.
Yeah, they're last year's winner looking to win, go back to back. See, maybe this year, I wish they gave the option of now with the Strong Open tag titles, they maybe could have brought the Strong Open tag titles to Wrestle Kingdom, but who knows? But I know they're going for the IWGP, but maybe next year they do. You could pick which tag titles.
Yeah, it could be interesting to get the strong tag titles in the mix, but I think they really want that for the U.S. tours, and especially right now with Motor City Machine Guns with the championship. I think they want to keep that going for the strong side of things, and then I think that's the whole reason why Aussie Open dropped those titles, so they can focus them on the heavyweight tag titles, and then like we're saying, it seems like they're going to be the favorites to win this thing.
Oh yeah, Aussie Open. It's going to be. I think Bishamon's going to be at least, if not in the finals, it's going to be at least in the top before the final night.
Yeah, and we're actually starting to see too, like more cohesion between Bishamon. They have new entrance music. They have new matching gear. Yoshihashi has gear now that matches Hiroki Goto's. So it seems like now that they're really kind of gelling together as a tag team. It's not just this random chaos team. It's like, all right, this is Bishamon. They got the music. They have the gear. We're giving them this kind of full tag team push. They're going to be our top domestic tag team.
Yeah, out of the chaos pairing, I like both of them together. They've been teaming full time together since last year, I believe. Like full time, not just random 8-man, 10-man, 6-man tags.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they also had the great, the never 6-man title run. That was during the heart of the pandemic in 2020 with them and Tomohiro Ishii.
I like that reign better than one with the Ho.
Yeah, we'll talk about Yo when we get to the Super Junior Tag League.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, any other thoughts on Bishamon?
No, I think they're going to be. I'm not repeating myself. They're probably, if they're not going to be in the finals, they'll probably be top 3 or 4 in the top at the most.
Yeah, I think I could definitely see them getting to the finals, or maybe even, I guess, I don't know, being alive towards the last night, because I mean they were already lost to Aussie Open, who are the tournament favorites, and especially with the tag team champions not being in this tournament. Aussie Open, if they get to the finals and they face Bishamon again, I don't think Gator would book them to beat Bishamon again in the finals. So either Bishamon is not getting to the finals or Aussie Open's not winning.
No, we're not doing 50-50 booking here.
Yeah, so I have a hard time seeing Bishamon getting the win back right now. So I think Bishamon they'll be alive towards the end of the tournament. But I don't see them getting into the finals, because then it would just be a rematch at Aussie Open, and then I don't think it would be kind of anticlimactic if they just lose to Aussie Open again.
Yeah, exactly. You just hit the nail on the coffin there. That's the same thoughts I had.
Yeah, pretty much anybody who loses to Aussie Open going forward, you kind of an X amount of being in the finals potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's take a look at the next team here. Another team that has 4 points is the United Empire team of Great Okan and Aaron Hanare. Also 4 points, 2 wins, and 1 loss. So on night 2, they lost to Sonata and Naito. On night 5, they defeated TMDK of Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste. And then on night 6, they defeated Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd.
I've been impressed with Okan and Hanare. Wasn't Jeff Cobb supposed to be in this tag league? Is that who Hanare took over for?
No, Cobb was never announced for the league. They announced Hanare, so I don't know why they did that. If they just wanted to maybe keep Cobb and Okan strong as a team, since they're probably not going to win the tag league, and to give Hanare some dates. So I'm not quite sure why they went with Cobb. I think that's probably the reasoning, but yeah, it was always announced as Hanare and Okan.
Gotcha. I probably just assumed where I've seen them more tag with Cobb than with Hanare, but they've been impressing me. The night the LIJ match was good. The Team K one wasn't too bad. The Coggle and Kid was all right. Not surprised they would beat Coggle and Kid. It could have went back and forth with LIJ or Team DK, but I'm surprised they're at 4. I thought they'd be tied with Aussie Open, fellow United Empire members, with 6 points.
Yeah,
but everybody could be up there.
Yeah, and Gideon Gray has been, teasing this all United Empire final with Aussie Open versus Great Okan and Hanare in the finals. But I mean, right now they're tied in second with so many teams, so they're still in a good spot right now. Again, it's not the Okan and Cobb team, but I think for Okan and Hanare, they're doing pretty good right now, and been having some good matches. Also, I think the best from this stretch would be the match with LIJ, 22 minute main event there from night 2. Even though they lost, still I think that was probably their best outing from bell to bell, but still some big wins. Beating TMDK and beating Coughlin and Kidd. So right now, they're still looking strong. And again, like we mentioned, getting the Gideon Gray entrances with these guys as well. Gideon Gray is pushing for them to face Aussie Open in the final. So I think this is, again, another team that could be alive going in towards the finals.
Yeah, exactly. The LIJ, the one that went 22 minutes, I think it went a little too long. Personally, I think they should have cut 5 minutes, maybe. But it was still a good match. I would recommend that one if you don't want to watch all of night 2 of World Tag League.
Yeah, I would say, definitely, the LIJ match out of their matches. If people are just kind of cherry picking, that would be the one to watch from this stretch. I mean, the other matches, the TMDK match, a 10-minute match, and the Kid and Coughlin match, 9 minutes and 46 seconds. So all the other stuff has been kept pretty short, but again, they've looked really good. Okan is a star, and I'm glad Hanare is getting some dates here and getting some shine, and being featured well in this tournament.
Oh, me too. When I first seen Hanare, I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but when he joined in Empire, he's been impressive. I actually one of his fans. Like, he's impressed me over the last couple of years since joining United Empire.
Yeah, he's really stepped his game up during the pandemic, and a lot of the Muay Thai training he's done and kind of incorporating that stuff into what he's doing in the ring.
Yeah, he's been impressing me the last year. I became a fan when he joined the United Empire.
So let's look at the next team here, which is going to be TMDK, Shane Hayes, and Mikey Nichols. So they also have 4 points. They're 2 wins, 1 loss. So on night 2, they defeated Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd. And then on night 5, like we mentioned, they lost to Hanare and Great Okan. And then on night 6, they have defeated the House of Torture team of Evil and Yujiro Takahashi.
So Team TK, they've been impressive. I seen them in WWE when they were TM61. Glad they're back in Japan. Haven't seen them as a team together in a while. The House of Torture match, that sucked. Let's just be honest. That's all. Let's just be honest. Any House of Torture match sucks. Let's just be honest here. But is Mikey Nichols still part of Chaos? Are we going to keep going with this joke, the Chaos joke, that they're all part of Chaos now?
No, I think, at least according to the website, I think Nichols has been booted out.
Let me check here. Let me check for you, Jeremy.
Yeah, and Mad Mikey, I think he's been booted out, and I think he's just representing TMDK now, especially since TMDK has kind of become its own unit now.
I'm glad he's in TMK because he was way better there than he was in Chaos for a short time.
Yeah.
Mikey, yep, he left May 14th, 2022, so a few months ago.
Yeah, so out of Chaos, just representing TMDK. And also, TMDK, very good tag team. They've had their experience in Pro Wrestling Noah as a tag team and winning one of their tag leagues. And like you mentioned, the NXT run, TM61, and then now they are finally back together. We've seen them do some stuff on New Japan Strong. They were in the Strong Openweight tag team tournament and got eliminated pretty early there, which was kind of surprising. But I think that was due to Mikey having a baby recently. But yeah, now he's back in action here with Shane Hayes, and they're doing pretty good. Again, tied up there with all these teams with 4 points. Pretty much all these teams that are with 4 points have a shot to win this thing or get close to being in the finals. So yeah, they look pretty good. I would say their best match from these series is probably the match against Gabe Kidd and Coughlin.
Yeah, I agree. That one was pretty. If I had to go in order, I'd say Coughlin, Kidd first, and then the United Empire, and then the House. Like I said, House of Torture is just there. They suck.
But yeah, TMDK, they have been looking really good, and again, not really any kind of stories, I don't think, really being told them outside of them obviously wanting to win the tournament. But also they're looking good. They're getting some good reactions from the crowd, and again, I think they'll be a team that could potentially go to the finals, especially since I feel like they were teasing a match with them and Aussie Open on New Japan Strong, and everybody thought that was going to be the finals of the Strong Openweight Tag Team Tournament, which it wasn't. So maybe that'll be the finals here. Maybe we get Aussie Open versus TMDK. Maybe TMDK beats them in tournament action, and then in the finals, Aussie Open can get the win back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was surprised actually that TMK was eliminated early in the Strong Openweight Tag Tournament. I thought they, like you said, I thought they'd be in the finals with Aussie Open. But I mean, we got World Tag League. I could see them in the finals. But that's actually one of the matches I'm actually excited to look for is Aussie Open and TMDK.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun when that happens.
Banger.
So now let's take a look at the Bullet Club team of Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. So they're one of the teams who have 2 points, 1 win and 2 losses. So on night 2, they, like we mentioned, they lost to Archer and Suzuki. Then on night 5, they got their 1 win over fellow Bullet Club members of the House of Torture, Evil and Yujiro. And then on night 6, they lost to the Bebop tag team, Tanahashi and Toru Yano.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this team. That could not get into the match. The Suzuki-gun one wasn't too bad. The House of Torture one was not good at all. I say one of the worst ones so far this year, World Tag League. Bebop, nice and short, only 3.5 minutes. I mean, it's a typical Yano match. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, in that night 6 match, yeah, they got outsmarted by Yano and Tanahashi. Yano distracting the ref. Tanahashi gives them the double low blows there to get the advantage. So yeah, they got outsmarted by Yano and Tanahashi there. The House of Torture match, like you said, I mean, it was Bullet Club versus Bullet Club, and Fale and Chase were able to outsmart Evil and Yujiro there. And then the Suzuki match, like you said, probably the best of this stretch. Archer and Archer and Fale when they get in there and do their kind of big men show off. And then Chase has been doing this thing where he calls himself the real shooter. And so he was wanting to go in there with Suzuki and show that he is the real shooter. It can go toe to toe with Suzuki, but that backfired for him.
Yeah, that did backfire on them. But there's not really much to say for Owen and Fale, honestly.
Yeah, you say, yeah, there's not much here. Yeah, it's Fale, Chase. I mean, they were former tag champions this year. So also they're going to be in this thing. And again, yeah, there hasn't really been anything interesting going on with these guys. They're just kind of there. Because they're former champions, they're probably going to end up doing pretty good in the tournament towards the end. I could see them either being 4-5 or 5-4.
I can see that too. Maybe I don't see 10 points. I could see 8. I know the last few years, I think they were in the 8 to 12 point range. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I feel like they were more towards the top, especially last year. But I have to go back and look. But yeah, they're going to finish in that 8 to 10 point range because they were champs this year. Obviously, New Japan office loves Bad Luck Fale. So yeah, that's pretty much Fale and Chase.
Yeah.
So next we got the Bebop tag team, Tanahashi and Toru Yano. They have 2 points, 1 and 2. Night 2, they lost to Aussie Open. Night 5, they lost to Archer and Suzuki. And like we mentioned, on night 6, they defeated Fale and Chase.
So Bebop, like I said earlier, Tanahashi, you got to get a new partner, brother. But I will say, though, I did like the Aussie Open match. I did like that one. The Suzuki match wasn't too bad. And then the Bullet Club one, like I said, when we're told Fale, no, it's short, quick, easy, 3 minutes. That's it. Bye.
Yeah, that was on one of those nights where we had 10 matches. We had both World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League on the same night. And so that was one of the matches. So, yeah, it was really good that they kept that one at 3 minutes, 35 seconds. Then also with Tanahashi and Yano, they're pushing the whole, Bebop tag team thing, which is based off an anime in Japan that's called Bebop that has a character that's named, I think, Hiroshi, and a character that's named Yano, I think. And so they're basing their whole look off of that like they did last year. So that they got the matching hair, they have the matching jackets, they got team t-shirts, they've got the mashup music. So when it comes to tag league, they kind of become this Bebop tag team and do this thing. And like I mentioned, Tanahashi, he's following Yano's lead there with the misdirection and using the low blows and stuff like that. So, I'm not always the biggest fan of the Yano antics at this point, but the Bebop tag team is a little bit fresh, something new, and they've been fun so far for me.
Yeah, they haven't been too. I'm just not a big fan, but they've been a fun team, nice, short and sweet. I don't think they'll be I think they'll be towards the bottom. I don't really see them at the top. Maybe the 6 to 8, maybe 10 points at the most.
Yeah, I could definitely see them being towards the lower end or even kind of in the middle. I think because obviously it is Tanahashi. You can't completely bury that team. But again, I don't think you're going to stick Tanahashi in a tag title match at the Dome.
No, but Tanahashi, he's the ace. He needs a bigger match. I mean, last year he was at 14. They were at 14 points. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't won a World Tag League. He hasn't won one. I thought he did, and I misheard. But he's done everything, but I'm surprised he hasn't won a World Tag League. Maybe this year, maybe next year. Who knows?
Well, the hard thing with him is the Tag League always comes in the build to Tokyo Dome, so you're always going to have Tanahashi in a big singles match in the Dome, so it's kind of hard for him to win a tag league. So maybe whenever he gets to a point which is pretty close of not being able to perform on Tokyo Dome level, that they kind of slide him into a tag picture, but it's hard not putting the ace in a big match at the Tokyo Dome.
Exactly. I'd be kind of shocked if he wasn't either on Tokyo at Wrestle Kingdom or in some meaningless tag match.
Yeah, and like Josh and I were saying last week, I think there's a potential for Muto to get involved for Wrestle Kingdom and doing some kind of like Muto and Tanahashi against Naito and Sonata, especially since a lot of those guys don't have anything to do. But yeah, I have a hard time seeing Tanahashi winning Tag League this year. And pretty much any year going forward. Even though he's getting older, he is such a big name. It would be hard just having him in a random, or not really a random, but a tag title match. I think they'll continue to kind of put him in singles matches or kind of special feature attraction matches. Yeah,
I can't see him being in some IWGP tag title match like you and Josh did last week. I could see Tanahashi and Buddha either face it off or having a tag match with Naito and Sonata or Takata. I wouldn't mind seeing Shingo in there.
Yeah, Shingo would be fun. Okay, another guy doesn't really have anything in stone yet for the Dome.
Yeah, unless they do that KOPW rainbow, I don't know what you could do with Shingo.
Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we'll get some. We know we'll talk about later, but also they're building stuff up with him and Taichi on these undercards, which is happening at the next Taka Taichi Mania show. But yeah, hopefully there'll be something in store for Shingo come Wrestle Kingdom.
I hope so.
So let's take a look at the next team here. We have Evil and Yujiro Takahashi from the House of Torture. They're currently sitting with 0 points, 0 wins, 3 losses. Night 2, they lost to Bishamon. Night 5, they lost to the Bullet Club, Team of Folly and Chase. And then on night 6, they lost to TMDK's Mikey Nickel and Shane Haste.
Good. They don't need to win World Tag League, and they don't need any points. Honestly, if I had to replace them, I'd put them either replace with West Coast Wrecking Crew or I have another team in my head. I could see Stray Dog Army in there.
Yeah, it would be fun to get some more of the strong tag teams in the mix. Also, listeners to this show know how Josh and I feel about House of Torture, but I gotta say I'm very happy that they have not won a match yet in this World Tag League. And there is actually probably the most interesting story going on with these guys is the fact that they just keep getting foiled night after night. They bring out Sho and Dick Togo. They try the interference. They try the ref bumps. They're trying all of their House of Torture tricks, but they're getting foiled night in and night out, and they just can't seem to get the one up on any team here.
Nope, they'll try their House of Torture tricks and fails every time, and I'm glad. I don't need them in the finals this year.
Yeah, we don't need them sniffing anywhere near close to finals. I mean, obviously it is evil, and so I don't think they're going to go completely winless. I can see them, coming back and maybe getting to like 4 and 5. But I like the trend that they're going in right now. And yeah, I'm perfectly content with them losing every match. But it's not that they're losing. It's actually, like I said, actually a pretty good story of them. Like they're trying all the shenanigans that usually works, and it just seems like the other team has them well scouted, just one step ahead of them, and they just can't get the jump on team. I mean, they're jumping people from the ramp. They're getting Togo and Sho involved. They're doing all their playbook, but it's just not working.
No, they're like, let's try attack them before the bell, and it's not. But that's the story, though. But like you said, I can see them getting points, but I don't see them at the top. I see them in the middle, like 8 to 10 at the most. But they don't go near the tag titles. Don't go near the finals. That's all. Just give me that ghetto, please. Please, I'm asking you.
And they are still 2/3 of the never open weight 6-man champions, which we did see at the end of the Fale Chase match. I think was it the Fale Chase match, or there was somebody that kind of held up the tag team, the never 6-man titles.
I think it was Falling Owens, but I could see doing they could bring back the Gauntlet match at Wrestle Kingdom for the titles.
Yeah, I think they're definitely. I mean, they have enough teams and enough guys on that roster who don't have matches where you could do that narrow 6-man gauntlet on the pre-show or on the main card, depending on how many matches they want to do. But yeah, you could definitely get them on there. But yeah, you can do. There's several units. I mean, there's guys from United Empire. There's guys from Bull Club. There's enough guys where they can do that gauntlet. Gives House of Torture something to do, gives other guys something to do without having to be, featured higher up on the card.
Yeah, I could see them having a title match at the Dome. I don't see them in the finals at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point they're going to be a non-factor. I mean, I think they're going to probably play spoiler, just because of where they're at points wise. I mean, also, I don't think they're mathematically eliminated right now. But I think that we're going to continue to see this trend of them being foiled, and then eventually they're going to end up playing the spoiler for some team and keeping a team out of the finals.
That's what they're there for. Play spoiler.
Well, then the last team here for the World Tag League is the LA Dojo team of Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd. Also with 0 points, 0 wins, and 3 losses. Night 2, they lost to TMDK. On night 5, they lost to Sonata and Naito. And then on night 6, they lost to the United Empire team of Aaron Henare and Great Okan.
I like both men. I'm impressed by both of them. The Coughlin, not a big fan of the Android gimmick. Gabriel Kidd guy, he's better after the mental health break he had over the last few months, but they've been impressing me. I think they're going to be the same boat as House of Torture. I don't think they'll be like at the top. I think they'll be in the middle. They'll probably play spoiler towards the end there. Probably spoil like Bishamon or LAJ or something. They're going to spoil one big team towards the end there.
Yeah, and it's also, again, interesting here with these last 2 teams. It seems like a lot of the story arcs or storytelling that's happening in this tournament is revolving around the bottom teams, because with Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd, they have been having a hard time gelling together as a tag team. In every matchup, they've had moments where they end up accidentally bumping into each other, hitting each other with chops or clotheslines, or knocking their partner out of the ring. So they've just had a lot of miscommunications and just have not been able to gel well.
No, I've seen the miscommunication. They're probably going to tease a breakup towards the end. but I don't see them teaming after the tour.
Yeah. There's been post-match promos. The last one I saw where Gabe Kidd was telling Coughlin, it's pretty much your fault. Like you're the one getting in my way. If you weren't hitting me all the time, like we could have won some matches. Yeah. But yeah, Gabe Kidd though, he has been the very cocky one of the team. He's always we've talked about in the LIJ match, he was mocking Naito the whole match, and through all these matches, he's just very cocky, very arrogant, just being like a total douchebag throughout the matches. And Coughlin sitting in the corner, just like watching him, like, what are you doing, man? So yeah, they're definitely having a lot of issues with communication and their tandem and getting stuff down. And they're at a very detriment part here in the tournament. Like they have to start picking up some wins if they want any shot of getting close to the finals.
Yeah. I agree with you there. They need to get some wins here soon. They got to get their communication together. I seen the backstage promo where Coughlin told him to listen. Kid pretty much told him, you need to fucking listen, and then left.
Yeah, so they're definitely butting heads. And we had a question here from Reddit from Ocock890. Says, seems like Coughlin and Kidd are at each other's throats and likely don't stay together after Tag League. What faction do you think is a good fit for both guys?
Oh, that's a good question. I could see Coughlin being in Chaos. Kidd, I could see in Suzuki-gun, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like Kidd's just his attitude and his arrogance, could fit with Suzuki-gun or possibly even United Empire. With Coughlin, I agree with you. I think Coughlin, he could fit in Chaos, or he can just be representing Hantai, the home unit. I think though the hard thing though, it seems like they have been pushing LA Dojo as a unit, and so I don't know if that's an actual thing, if they're going to stay a part of LA Dojo and just not team together, or kind of what the whole plan is for the LA Dojo.
I could see them being a unit. If they are officially a unit, I could see him staying there, or even I could see Coughlin and Team Filthy. I mean, they got Kratos. They got a more big, heavy, meaty men.
Yeah. The only thing is, though, him and Kratos have been feuding all this year. So yeah, it'd be, I don't know, it's for me kind of weird for him to end up joining Filthy's team.
Oh my god, how did I forget that? Well, I mean, I think they were supposed to have a last man standing match at the Charlotte tapings, but Coughlin, I think, got an injury. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, their feud has just kind of been on and off. I think Coughlin's had a couple of different injuries when they were supposed to face off on Strong tapings, and I think they were supposed to have a match at, I think, Capital Collision, or Windy City Riot, that didn't end up happening. So yeah, due to injuries and stuff, that match hasn't worked out. And before Coughlin left to Japan, he did end up calling out Kratos, so maybe when he comes back to the US, they'll pick back up and finally get a Kratos and Coughlin match.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them going at it again. They need to put the feud to bed fully. Not on ice, fully done, finish.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move over now to the Super Junior Tag League, which I feel like overall has been more entertaining and more fun to watch than the World Tag League.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I found Super Junior Tag League, it's been excellent. It's been better than World Tag League as of right now. But we still got plenty of nights. But right now, Super Junior Tag League's been keeping more of my attention than World Tag League.
Yeah, and we've had 5 nights of tournament action for the Junior Tag League. And like we were talking off before we started recording, the schedule's been kind of weird where it's not always alternating every other night. Sometimes you have 2 Junior Tag League nights back to back, or you'll have a night where you have both on one night. So it's definitely been interesting to keep up with.
It has been. It's it's night 1, and then here's night 3, 4, 5, and 6 all together. It's oh my god, spread them out.
Well, let's take a look at the teams here. So on top of the block, we have the Lio Rush and Yo team representing Chaos. They have 8 points there, 4 wins and 1 loss. So on the opening night 1, they lost to Catch 22, Francisco Akira and TJP. Then on night 3, they defeated the Flying Tiger team of Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask. On night 4, they defeated Kevin Knight and Kushida. On night 6, they defeated Doki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And then on night 7, they defeated Ace Austin and Chris Bay from Bullet Club.
They've been impressing me. Yo's doing way better this year than he ever did last year. Before show turn on them. They had an excellent match with the Junior Tag Champs Catch 22. That match I recommend go out and checking. Flying Tiger, that was a good match. I give that one 7 out of 10. The Kevin Knight Kushida match, I gave it about 6 out of 10. Their match has been great. The Doki one, I wouldn't mind actually seeing Leo and Doki going one-on-one. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And then the Bullet Club Chaos, Chris Bay and Ace Austin, that was actually excellent. I gave that one 7 out of 10. I wouldn't mind seeing Leo and Ace or Chris Bay going one-on-one in the junior division.
Yeah, Lio Rush, I feel like it's been a great addition. I know a lot of people are very hard on him just due to him retiring and unretiring and just some of the injuries and mental health stuff that he's been going through and just kind of the absences he's had in pro wrestling. But, he seems to be, healthy and motivated and focused and seems to really love working in New Japan. So, yeah, I think he's been great in this junior tag league. And I think he'll be a great addition for the junior division going forward, especially in single stuff like you were mentioning. But, yeah, I think him and Yo have been gelling really well together.
Yeah, they've been gelling really well. I can see them being in the finals. They're one of 3 teams I could see being in the finals. Even though I could see them getting a junior tag match, maybe not Wrestle Kingdom, maybe after Wrestle Kingdom, or even at the Road to Tokyo Dome, if they don't win Junior Tag League.
Yeah, I think Lio Rush is such a big star, and I'm sure he's getting a lot of money with his New Japan deal and being on this tour. So I don't know. I feel like he's gonna find his way in that junior tag title match, whether he wins the league or not. They always love to do 3- and 4-way junior tag matches. So I mean, they're on top right now, so I can see them ending up in a tie with another one of the teams if they don't win to get into that junior title match at the Dome.
Yeah, I can. If they don't win Super Junior Tag, I can see them getting a future junior tag title match in the future, or maybe if they do a 4-way, like you said, they could add them in there, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they have been a very entertaining team to watch this past week. Like you said, the Catch 2-2 match, probably the best match they had. I was like 4 1/4 on that match. That was the main event of night 1 and Cork and Hall. So you had cheering crowds. The crowd was super into the matchup. Actually, surprisingly, the crowd was more into Catch 2-2 and Gideon Gray than they were into Lio Rush and Yo at first. But then, towards the end of the match, I feel like Lio Rush really got the crowd behind him just with his wrestling. But yeah, that was a really fun matchup. And a Flying Tiger match was fun. The match with Kevin Knight and Kushida, again, kind of a high pace matchup there. The Doki and Kanemaru match, again, was pretty good. And like you mentioned, there were some good interactions with Lio Rush and Yo. And then today's show, when they faced off against Ace Austin and Chris Bay, Austin and Bay were undefeated going into that match. So that was a pretty big win for Leo and Yo to beat Ace Austin and Chris Bay so that they could have the tiebreaker over those guys and be getting better standings going into the next few nights here.
Yeah, the besides the Catch 22 match, the Bullet Club one from today was excellent. That was I say that's second favorite of mine so far in the Junior Tag League. Honestly, I like the pairing of Rush and Yo. I hope they stay together after the tour.
Yeah, I think that they would definitely be a good team to have. We've talked about in the past a lot of times throughout the year, the junior tag titles usually gets bounced between one or two teams just because New Japan doesn't really build up their junior tag division. Usually, for years it was just Roppongi 3K and Despi and Kanemaru, or it seemed like to be like the only two teams they had for a while, and then you kind of pepper in some random teams throughout the year. But with this tag league, we're seeing that they can put together a good junior tag division, and I think having Lio Rush and Yo together would be a great addition to the division going forward. If Lio Rush decides to stay with New Japan, interesting thing, like backstage promo, Yo was talking about wanting to make sure they hit the 3K, especially in their next match, because they are facing off against Yo's former partner Sho and Dick Togo. So he wants to hit the former Roppongi 3K's finisher 3K on Sho, kind of to get some more revenge and kind of stick the knife and show more, and to prove that he has a better tag team partner now.
Yeah, I hope they, like you said, like we got more of a junior division or tag division better than the last couple of years. I get it, COVID didn't help much, but it's finally glad that we can get a fresh air in the junior tag team division, especially with Catch 22, the current champs. And then we got like Austin and Bay, a Bull Club. We got Rush and Yo, Flying Tigers again, Kushida, who's surprisingly not in the junior heavyweight title contendership match, but he's got Kevin Knight. So it's just a fresh air. It's just nice, better than the same tag team matches over and over again.
Yeah, and like we're saying, the night one match is definitely, if people are cherry picking, definitely watch that match against Catch 22, and that match is free. So if you don't have a NJPWWorld.com subscription, you can go on the site and check that match out for free. But yeah, I mean, they've been a fun team to watch, and if you're cherry picking, I mean, Lio Rush and Yo matches have been really good, really fun to watch. They've been gelling really well together as a team. They're using the 3K as their team finisher. Lio Rush, like I said, very motivated. The crowd's been getting behind him night after night with his wrestling. And a very welcome addition here to New Japan. Yeah,
it's fresh air. I can see them and see Lio in the Best of Super Juniors maybe next couple of years. I hope he stays in New Japan for a while, and he got some good matches with TJP, Akira, I wouldn't mind seeing him and Desperado going at it. Him and Hiromu.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot for Lio to do in the junior division.
He did challenge Ishimori, but that Ishimori just blew that off like nothing happened.
Yeah, I forget, that was, when was that he challenged him? Was that it's a New Japan Strong pay-per-view, right?
Let me see here. Lio Rush challenge. I know it was a New Japan Strong. I can't remember. Oh, no, not Ishimori. I think it was Strong. I'm just double checking here. I know he had a match with them last year at the Strong Tables, that Autumn Attack one. Then he came back, and I think it was Capital Code.
And I know it was recently, so
yeah,
it wasn't the New York stuff, so it must have been a Strong taping.
Yeah, because he challenged him and Ishimori just.
Oh, you know what it was? I think it wasn't it Ishimori? I think Ishimori was the one that challenged him. I think that's what happened.
Yes, Ishimori did challenge him. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, it was a post match promo because Ishimori, I think it was after he defeated Alan Angels, I want to say. On Strong, I think in the post-match promos, Ishimori had, challenged Lio Rush to come back and face him. But yeah, for whatever reason, they didn't go in that direction. So that is a potential. If Ishimori retains in the 4-way at the Dome, yeah, you could do Lio eventually challenging him in Japan, or if they want to do that match on Strong or a Strong pay-per-view, since that's where they kind of started in the angle, you could do that too.
I can see that. And speaking of Alan Angels, off subject for a sec, I can see him coming to New Japan competing in the junior division.
Yeah, I mean, he would be a great addition, and we have seen him on New Japan Strong. He's on a few dates there. So I think that, I know he's in Impact right now full time, and he just joined the Violence by Design stable, Eric Young stable. So, I'd be welcome to have Alan Angels come in, do some junior stuff. We'll see what happens if he keeps going to get booked on Strong, and then if they'll bring him over to Japan next year.
I can see that.
So now let's take a look at the next team that's also with 8 points, 4-1, and that's the Bullet Club team of Ace Austin and Chris Bay. So on night 1, they defeated Bushi and Teton. On night 3, they defeated Doki and Kanemaru. Night 4, they defeated Dick Togo and Sho. On night 6, they defeated Clark Connors and Ryusuke Taguchi. And on night 7, they defeated the Bullet Club team, like we mentioned. They lost to the Chaos team of Leo Rush and Yo.
I've been impressed with Bullet Club. I'm a big fan of Chris Bay. I've been watching him in Impact the last couple of years. He's just delivering excellent matches. I like the team here. I can see them in the finals. Out of their matches, I like the Chaos match. That one was my favorite out so far. The second favorite would be the Bushi Teton one. Even the Suzuki-gun one, that I was pretty impressed with that match as well. The House of Torture stuff, that's just all Bullet Club stuff. And then the Wild Hips one, could not get into that one.
Yeah, we'll talk about Wild Hips in a second. But I've been enjoying Ace Austin and Chris Bay. We saw Ace Austin come over with the Super Junior Super Junior, Best of Super Juniors earlier this year, and got a big following there. So first time we're seeing Chris Bay in Japan. They have been teaming on Impact and doing Bullet Club stuff over there. They've been gelling really well on this tour. They were undefeated up until night 7, where they got their first loss, like we mentioned, to Leo Rush and Yo, but they've been looking really good. They've been using a combo of where Ace Austin throws Chris Bay so he can do the art of finesse that way. So he throws Bay into a cutter on the opponent, and then they follow up with him, Ace Austin, doing the fold, that jumping blockbuster type maneuver to pick up their wins there. So yeah, Bullet Club unit looking very strong here. Like you mentioned, there was a Bullet Club versus Bullet Club match against Dick Togo and Sho, and you did have them throwing up a 2-sweet together at first, and Sho and Dick Togo trying to take advantage of that. But of course, like we mentioned, and we'll talk about it later, but with House of Torture, their tricks have just not been working on either side of the leagues here. But yeah, Ace Austin, Chris Bay looking really good, getting some good reactions. Chris Bay really impressing with the Japanese audience.
Yeah, I'm impressed with them. They're actually one of my favorite Bullet Club teams from the junior division. I do like Ishimori ELP, but I can see Austin and Bay being one of the finalists. If not finalists, at least the top 3 or 4 in there.
Yeah, especially with the Impact partnership, and wanting to probably keep those guys looking strong, and with them being affiliated with Bullet Club now, I think they're a team that could end up in the finals, or be one of those teams that ends up with the tiebreaker thing that pushes them in into the match at Wrestle Kingdom, and it being a 3 or 4-way. But they did lose that very important match, like we mentioned, to Leo Rush and Yo. So Leo and Yo do have that tiebreaker over them right now. So there's 4 more matches left in the Junior Tag League. So they gotta try and continue to win, and hope that they can either that Leo and Yo start losing so that they can advance, or hope that they can continue to tie with them so that way they can get into the finals that way.
Yeah, I can see they might have to do tiebreakers towards the end of the night, but I think Bullet Club is going to be in the at least the top running in the group there.
Yeah. So moving on, we have Alex Zane and L. Lindemann also with 8 points, 4-1. On night 1, they defeated Kevin Knight and Kushida. On night 3, they lost to Catch 2-2. On night 4, they defeated Clark Connors and Ryusuke Taguchi. On night 6, they defeated Dick Togo and Sho. And then on night 7, they defeated the Flying Tiger team of Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask.
I like this team. I think they're going by Sauce Hearts. I believe that's what they're going by. I like their match has been good. The Wild Hips one, not really a big fan of the match. I did like the spot where Connors was trying to take Alex Zane to the back with tacos. I did laugh, and that was pretty funny, but it still never got the job done. Their Catch 22 match was pretty good. I would check that out if you want to cherry pick. And then the Kevin Knight Kushida match was pretty good as well for a 10-minute match.
Yeah, probably. I would agree. A few of the best out of this stretch would be the Catch 2-2 match. Went 18 minutes 56 seconds from night 3. That was a lot of fun. And Zane and Lindemann, they have been gelling really well together as well. Lindemann, he dyed his hair red. He has the blue and red font on his trunks, and they're both wearing red wrist tape. Like you mentioned, yeah, they've been going by the Sauce Hearts, and Zane and Lindemann do have experience working together before. With Zane, he's done some great shows, so he's teamed up with Strong Hearts before, and in the past, Shima has said that Zane is a honorary member of the Strong Hearts, so made sense for him to team up with Lindemann in this tournament. But yeah, they're gelling together with the looks, and Lindemann and Zane were two of the guys who got over pretty big in the Best Super Juniors this year. So getting them together, you got a hot babyface tag team here. Zane just continues to get over with the Japanese audience, and he's doing the same stuff he was doing in Best Super Juniors, the going out and exploring the culture, immersing himself in the culture, eating lots of Japanese cuisine, and he's getting tons of just love from the fans. The one night where he was on commentary for the World Tag League, you had a bunch of fans that were like waving to him like the whole night when he was on commentary. He's still getting tons of people trying to do the meet and greets and meet him and behind him. So he's becoming very popular, getting very over, just like he was in Best Super Juniors, and he's a welcome addition. I think that he's going to be great in the junior division, even though I know it looks like he's a little bit bigger than a junior, but he's a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Zane. I've been watching his work in WWE when he was early starting, GCW here in New Japan Strong, the Best Super Juniors. Makes me hungry every time he talks about Taco Bell. I was like, but the Wild Hips match, I wasn't a big fan of the match, but I did laugh when Connors tried to get him to go away with the tacos, and then Lindemann's like, no, don't do it.
Yeah. That was a pretty funny matchup there, and these are, again, another really solid team here, solid new team, and again, if you love the flips, you love the high flying, again, this is another team to look out for, because these guys are having fast paced, high flying matchups. And something else we forgot to mention, with this junior tag team tour, they have the barricades removed from ringside like they do for Best of the Super Juniors, which has been able to allow these guys to really fly around and move around there on the outside. So yeah, Zane and Lindemann are two guys that are taking advantage of that and flying all around, a lot of big topes to the outside there. So yeah, this team's looking really good.
Yeah, I like this team. No, I wouldn't mind seeing. They'll probably be in the running for the finals. I think there's only 5 teams, or most of them are still in the running, except for 2. But I could see them being in the if not at least top 3 or 4 in the finals there.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them, they had a very tough loss there against the champions, Catch 2-2, which I think will be going very strong into the last few nights of the tournament. So that was a tough tiebreaker loss there. But again, they're still 4-1. There's still 4 matches left, so they have time to kind of advance their lead more and get into a good position to where they can get into the finals.
Yeah, I can see them. If they don't advance, it's probably going to be off a tiebreaker, or if they lose the next they got 4 matches left, I believe they have left.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 matches left. I could see if they don't win the rest of them, or they do, it would be by tiebreaker. I imagine they probably won't advance.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it all plays out. But for right now, in a good position, they got to make sure that they're going to have to they have some tough opponents left. They still have to face Ace Austin and Chris Bay. They still got to face Leo Rush and Yo. So two teams that are on top there. They also still got to face Bushi and Teton. So they have a tough second half of the tournament here for them. So they're going to have to pick up a lot of important wins this next week or so.
Yeah, I'm excited for those matches. I love the Zane Austin match from the Best Super Juniors match this year. I would love to see them run it back again singles. Same with actually Alex Zane facing anybody one-on-one.
Yeah, Zane, he's a ton of fun to wrestle, and I just feel like working in New Japan has helped just tighten his game up and made him a better overall performer.
Yeah, I think him leaving WWE was the best. Well, I should say leave. He got released, but I think that was the best move for him. I'm glad he's in New Japan. I can see him with a bunch of matches with like Robbie Eagles. I can see him with TJP, Akira, Kushida. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Wouldn't mind seeing in Ace Austin around the back. Same with Chris Bay if they want to keep him past World Tag or Super Junior Tag League. Same with Al Lindemann. I loved him in Best Super Juniors. He was great. He's got good matches. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Doki meeting in New Japan.
Yeah, there's a ton you could do with Alex Zane. He's very kind of similar to Leo Rush, where it's kind of a great addition to the division. There's a ton of fresh matchups you can do. Like we mentioned, Zane, he's getting over. The Japanese crowds love him. He's become a star there. So I think he's a guy that, if he can continue to quote unquote make the junior weight, he's a guy that could be a future IWGP Junior Champion.
Oh, I can see. I seen a couple of comments about saying how he's too tall for the junior division, but I mean, Trent Beretta was tall. He was in the junior division. And then I could see Zane having a junior title run in the future.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
And then talk about could sponsor him. Well, Japan Talk About retweeted him, so I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's like one of the only people that Twitter account's following, right?
Yeah, I love Taco Bell, but not as much as Alex Zane.
I don't think anybody loves Taco Bell as much as Alex Zane does.
Wow, he's got the taco driver, he's got the cinnamon twist, he's got Baja Blast.
Baja Blast, yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Zane. He's been impressed with me the last couple of years. Like I said, he's got all these good matches, like beat Robbie Eagles, Teton, Bushy, Doki, Chris Bay. They want to keep him past Super Junior Tag League. It's just for fresh air. It's just instead of the same matches over and over and over again.
Yeah. Fun fact: I almost could have had a backyard match with Alex Zane back in the day. So Alex Zane is from Florida and wrestled for a backyard promotion here called ACW, which my backyard promotion was starting to kind of work with, and I was doing some stuff with there. But I think Zane was going more pro by the time I started doing some stuff with ACW. So sometime there could have been a John Juris Alex Zane matchup, but it didn't happen.
Oh, there we go. I want to see that now. There we go. I know he did GCW backyard there, and that's how I first seen him was that video where he did I believe was a 630 over the top. I was like, oh my god, where's this dude been? Yeah,
so when they do that GCW backyard show, like he's doing his character that he was doing here in the Florida, the backyard scenes and ACW and stuff.
He's been I seen that video. I was like, oh, he'd be perfect in the junior division. And then a couple years later, he was in Best Super Juniors. I've been impressed. I'm a big fan of his work. I can see him with a junior title run or even a tag title run with Al Lindemann.
Yeah.
It's Macy's Friends and Family Sale with an extra 30% off the gifts you'll love to give and get 15% off beauty with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of big savings like 25% off dressed up designer looks for kids from Calvin Klein and more. Plus an extra 25% off luggage from Samsonite, Delsey, and more. Download the free Macy's app for more great deals at Macy's.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you more of what you love, like premium travel benefits and access to Taylor Swift tickets. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. Plus, get access to Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, presented by Capital One. Maybe I'll see you there. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
It only happens once a year. JCPenney's cyber deals are back in-store and at jcp.com. Through Wednesday, fill your cart with deals like Yes Please Diamonds and Gemstones, now $19.99 each. Or use your coupon inside the JCP app to save up to 50% on small appliances and cookware from top brands like Keurig, Cuisinart, Calphalon, and more. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items through 11/30. Exclusions apply. Jewelry excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.
So moving on to the next team, Bushi and Teton representing Los Ingobernables de Japón. Also another team with 8 points, 4 wins and 1 loss. And of course, these guys are coming off, a heated rivalry with Catch 22 and failing to win the junior tag team title. So they got a big chip on their shoulder and really want to win this league to get another crack at Catch 22 in a title match. So on night 1, they lost to the Bullet Club team of Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Then they went on a stretch of winning streak there. So on night 3, they defeated Wild Hips of Connors and Gucci. Night 4, they defeated Catch 22. Night 6, they defeated Kevin Knight and Gishida. And then on night 7, they defeated Doki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru.
I like LJ, but if I think if Teton didn't join, I think Hiromu, if he wasn't the junior heavyweight title picture, I think he could have been with Bushi. I'm surprised he's actually haven't held the junior tag titles with them. I know Bushi's held it with Shingo, but I mean Hiromu. I like Hiromu, but I think he needs a break from the junior heavyweight title. He should go after the junior tag title. But him and Teton, Bushi and Teton have been impressive. I like the Bullet Club match. The Catch 22 match was good as well. The Suzuki-gu and LJ was actually pretty fun. That was a fun match. They got their LJ win back from Catch 22 after losing at Battle Autumn, after failing to catch their junior tag titles. I think they'll be in the finals. I know I'm going to say that a lot about some of these teams here, but I could see them in the finals, if not maybe 3rd or 4th place, maybe 12, 14 points.
Yeah, and especially with this league, we're seeing there's a lot of top teams, and they've all been booked pretty strong. We have a lot of teams here that are 4-1, and like we mentioned, they were just recently in the tag team title picture. And like you mentioned, they got their win back over Catch 22 this week as well. So even if they don't win the league, they have that win now over the current champion. So even if they don't win, I can see them weaseling their way into the title match because they beat the champs during league action. And actually, now that I think of it, because of that, they're probably not going to win the league, but they'll use that win to get their title match. But they're definitely going to be booked strong, continuing to go forward.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with what you're saying there. That's why I can't see them going to the finals. If they don't, I can see them after the finals say, hey, we beat you guys. We want our shot at the junior tag titles. They'll probably do a multi-man at the Dome. But I like the Teton Bushi team. See, this was a CMML. They probably do 2 out of 3 falls for the titles. They both got 1 win each.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a lot of fun to do that. Because, yeah, I think Bushi and Teton, they, for only teaming in such a short time period, they have gelled really well together. I'll see Bushi having, some experience in CMLL and some Lucha Libre experience, and Teton, I'll see a full-time CMLL guy, and obviously LIJ has that whole kind of lucha vibe going for it, so he fits in with LIJ, and him and Bushi have been gelling really well together and having some very fun and entertaining matches. All their matches are kind of in that 10-minute range, so they're not out there super long, and I think they make the most of the minutes they have. They do a lot of high spots, high flying. I like their double team finish where they hit the code breaker into the double stomp that Teton does. So yeah, they look really good here.
Yeah, I like them. They're the longest match I see was with actually the champs of 1440. I do, like you said, I do like their double team of the code breaker, Angel Immoral. I think that's what he calls it. That's what I seen on the New Japan site. But like we were saying, I could see them if they don't make it to the finals, I could see them coming out and say, "Hey, we beat you in the league. Like, we want our shots again."
Yeah, I think that's probably the most likely scenario because, yeah, you look at Wrestle Kingdom, we got a one-night card. You want to try and get as much people on that card as possible. When you look back to previous one-night cards, there's been usually a three-way or four-way tag team title match. So, like we see it here, there's a lot of teams that are right now 4-1. So there's a lot of like tiebreaker scenarios that could happen. And you have Bushi and Teton. That's a very important win for them, beating Catch 2-2. Like we said, they can use that win to find their way in the title match. And then you have a lot of other teams here that could end up in a tie scenario where they could have a claim to be in the title match, and we could end up with a three-way or four-way.
Yeah, I know 1 year Super Junior, I know they did the top three, but I don't think they'll do a triple threat. I mean, they might. It's New Japan. Who knows? But I think they always hit two. But if they do multiple points, I could see them maybe doing a multi-man finals.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a multi-man final, but I will think like whoever's in the final, like I think somebody will win, and then that's their claim to be in the title match. And then like Bushi and Teton could say, "Well, we beat Catch 2-2," and then you make the title match at the Tokyo Dome, the three-way.
I can see that. I mean, the yearly multi-man tag title match.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. That's the one thing I don't like about single blocks. It kind of creates the scenario or excuse to get people into matches without winning the leagues.
Yeah, I kind of wish they went back to 2 blocks. I mean, they got 10 teams. I guess you could add 2 more, do 6 teams each block. That's the one thing. But World Tag League, they could stay single block if they wanted. But I think Super Junior, I think they should have went 2 blocks.
Yeah, and I think going forward, I guess it depends on how they want to do these tours. I mean, if they're going to continue to do this as a combined tour, they'll probably continue to do single blocks for both. But if they go back to each tournament having its own tour, I feel like there are enough teams now, especially with like the AEW connection and their partnership with CMLL, and just teams on New Japan Strong. I feel like they have so many avenues where they could fill up 2 blocks for both leagues. But I guess it just depends on how they want to book the year out and book the tours going forward.
Exactly. Like what we were saying with AEW, like if they were doing 2 blocks, I could see like Top Flight, their junior tag team. And if you want to bring the Impact guys, you could bring Motor Machine Guns or somebody from Strong like Barrett Brown and maybe get an honorary member of Stray Dog Army, or you could do Adrian Quest, maybe.
Right, yeah. There's a ton of juniors on Strong and AEW, and then even on the heavyweight side, like you mentioned earlier, West Coast Wrecking Crew. There's so many other teams that they have access to that I think would be great if they want to expand, go back to doing 2 blocks for both tournaments. But they might like doing this combined thing here. We saw it last year was the Best Super Juniors that was combined with World Tag League, so it might be easier for them to just combine the tours and not go back to the double blocks, but we'll see what they do.
Wait and see. I can see your good friend Rocky Romero making a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky just had his 40th birthday, and last time we talked to him, he said that he was gonna, try and win the junior title and get back in the mix. So, yeah, hopefully, I thought that him and Yo were going to be the ones being teamed together, but yeah, they pulled out Leo Rush, which I'm enjoying them. So yeah, we'll see if Rocky ends up coming back to Japan anytime soon, if he's going to get in the mix with the junior tag stuff. I mean, he has been teaming a lot with Roppongi Vice has been back together, him and Trent. So yeah, maybe him and Trent come over and do some stuff.
I can see that. Or you could do Orange Cat or Danhausen or Romero if he wasn't going with Yo.
Yeah, if you want to stick with a junior, yeah, him and Orange Cassidy, that could be kind of fun.
I just talked myself up for next year.
All right, let's take a look at the next team here. The current IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions, Catch 2-2, TJP, and Francesco Akira. Again, another team here with 8 points, 4 wins, and 1 loss. So the champs here, on night 1, they defeated Leo Rush and Yo. On night 3, they defeated Alex Zane and El Lindemann. On night 4, like we mentioned, that's where they lost to Bushi and Teton. On night 6, they defeated Flying Tiger of Eagles and Tiger Mask. And then on night 7, they defeated the House of Torture team of Dick Togo and Sho.
Love this team. TJP, like, it don't matter what his personal opinions are. I think he's good in the ring. I'm not, like, the biggest fan of TJP, but, I mean, I can respect his in-ring work. Akira, I'm a big fan of. I've watched some of his stuff in All Japan and when he came to New Japan. I like that, like, we talked about the Chaos with Rush and Yo. I like their match. I would recommend that one. And then the LIJ match was excellent. Same with Singh and Lindemann. Flying Tigers was actually pretty good. The only match I could not get into was the House of Torture. I found that was just too much interference.
Yeah, there was a lot of interference in that House of Torture match. But again, the only reason I was fine with it is because everything backfired. You did have Evil and Yujiro running out in that match, but then Aussie Open came out to fight off Evil and Yujiro. So, and we'll talk about Sho and Dick Togo, but I mean, they're experiencing the same luck that Evil and Yujiro are facing in the World Tag League, where they're trying all their House of Torture shenanigans, but it's just not working. So I think it makes the teams look very smart to, scout these guys and have plans, to have Aussie Open locked and loaded and ready to go to stop Evil and Yujiro. So I think having that made that match better. Like we mentioned, the Leo Rush and Yo match from night 1 wasn't a great matchup. Definitely recommend watching that. The Zane and Lindemann, Catch 2-2, I would say, is probably my favorite team right now in the league and overall to watch. Pretty much all their matches are in that 3.5 to 4 star range, and they just go out there every night. They're super over, and just like with Aussie Open and Great Okan and Hanare, they have Gideon Gray doing the announcing for them, and they turned Akira's Akira chant into a catch 2-2, and that's been getting over with the crowds as well. So yeah, this team is they've just gelled so well together in the last couple of months. This high pace, like you mentioned, TJP. Yeah, regardless of what he says on Twitter or the dumb things he does, like in ring, he is a great professional wrestler, and him and Akira have just been killing it in this tournament night after night. Like, they are the match, like they're the team to watch. They always put on good stuff.
Yeah, I like the House of Torture match wasn't too bad. I like when Evil and Yujiro had Gideon Gray and Aussie Open came out, and they're like telling Gray to move, and then they basically just kidnap them to the back.
Yeah.
And Gideon's just like, well, we got it. It's good. I like Gideon Gray. He needs to stay out there all the time.
Yeah, dude, this Gideon Gray, man, this man is earning his paycheck, especially on the nights where there's it's both World Tag League and Junior Tag League. He's out there 3 times doing the ring announcing for all 3 of the teams representing in both leagues here. So yeah, he's getting his money's worth, and he's getting on camera a lot. But hey, the crowds, they love him. He comes out and there's the Gideon, big Gideon chants from the crowd, and they're digging him. And like Josh and I have been saying, like, Gideon Gray is one of the best managers going in wrestling today. Just everything that he's doing is just, he just has this, this shy, sly grin on his face, and just this cocky arrogance, and his little wave that he does to the crowd, and his ring announcements. Like, everything about him is perfect. He's a perfect heel manager, and he's the perfect addition to United Empire.
Oh, next up, commentary during the matches, or sitting with Kevin Kelly to make him mad.
Oh yeah, like I know, like there's been a delay on English commentary for these shows because Kevin went back home for Thanksgiving for the U.S. So we've had no live English. It's been on delay. So I've been watching most of this stuff in Japanese. But I was thinking the other day too. I'm like, yeah, Gideon Gray's there. He does commentary in Rev Pro. Like, why not have Gideon do English commentary? Like, that would be great.
Oh, sorry, Kevin Kelly, but put Gideon Gray with you. That's gold. Or even during at ringside, just when they're having the matches, just sit there with the microphone the whole time.
Yeah, Gray on commentary would be money, especially if he's commentating during a United Empire match. I just get like Don Callis vibes when Don would commentate Kenny matches.
Yes.
So yeah, Catch 22, they have been great. They're the champs right now. They're also 4-1, so they're up there with Bushi and Teton, Zayn and Lindemann, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, and Leo Rush and Yo. So obviously, losing to Bushi and Teton, that's a very important loss there, like we mentioned, because that equals title implications for Bushi and Teton, and that's also a potential tiebreaker that could hurt Catch 22 coming down the stretch there. But they still have 4 more matches, and it seems like, a lot of the tougher teams, it seems like they've faced a lot of the tough teams so far, so they might have a little bit of an easier road for their last 4 matches.
Oh yeah, they got it easy. I thought they would be actually undefeated. I thought they win. Excuse me, they're all their every match there, but you got to lose one somewhere. It's a little surprised it was a little early. I thought it'd be towards the end there.
Yeah, I think they really wanted to give Bushi and Teton that win back. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're going to only be stuck with 1 loss. I think they will lose a couple more times. I could see them ending up potentially 6-3, so that would end them with 12 points. If that happens,
I can see that.
We did have a question here, more of an observation actually from Reddit user Grunty Dodds. He says, not so much a question, but an observation you may have missed while trying to keep up on the shows. In the backstage interviews from night 2, Lord Gideon cuts a promo saying Catch 22 is better than the following teams, and then listing a series of former junior tag champs, ending with Generation Me. Last week, Josh seemed to be quasi-joking about the Bucks inserting themselves into Wrestle Kingdom, and this certainly doesn't lower the odds. So yeah, I did see that backstage promo. Yeah, Gideon Gray saying, yeah, Catch 22 is better than, Roppongi Vice and, No Remorse Corp, and he's listing all these other, former top junior tag teams, and he ends with Generation Me, which is the Young Bucks. That was their Impact Wrestling tag team name. So again, kind of throwing out hints that the Young Bucks could be involved come Wrestle Kingdom and insert themselves in a matchup. I mean, the last time the Bucks were in New Japan, they moved up to heavyweight and they won the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team title. So I have a hard thinking that they would come back and go back to the junior division and face the junior tag champs, especially because there's such a big stars. I think you would want them in a bigger matchup on the card, but I would love to see them against Catch 22 though.
Oh, I can definitely see them having a match with Catch 22. I actually wouldn't mind that either on AEW or in New Japan.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Honestly, here, yeah, with Gideon Gray, teasing Generation Me. I don't know if that's him just kind of trolling and just trying to say that his team, just trying to solidify the fact that Catch 22 is better than all those former teams, or if they are setting up something. Obviously, his guy, Will Ospreay, is facing Kenny Omega, so I don't know if that's just a dig to kind of help build that feud, or if we are going to see the Bucks come in. I mean, I think a bigger match would probably be like the Bucks against maybe like Ocon and Jeff Cobb, or one of the heavyweight United Empire teams. Aussie Open's probably going to be busy. But again, a match with Catch 22, like you said, would be a lot of fun. I would love to see that. So, but it would kind of kill the league though if you have this grueling tournament and then the end of the night, the Bucks just come out and are like, we're here, forget the tournament.
Knowing the Young Bucks, they probably would do that.
But we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on Gideon Gray's promos. We'll see if he mentions them again and see what the potential of them facing off against any of the United Empire come Wrestle Kingdom. So let's move on here to the next team coming in with 4 points. Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask, Flying Tiger. They're 2 and 3. So on night one, they defeated the House of Torture team of Dick Togo and Show. Night 3, they lost to Leo Rush and Yo. On night 4, they defeated Doki and Kanemaru. On night 6, they lost to Catch 22. And then on night 7, they lost to Alex Zane and L. Lindemann.
I've been impressed with these former junior tag champs. Well, Tiger Mask's been in the New Japan for years. I like the Chaos match. That one was pretty good. The Suzuki Gun one was pretty fun. The Catch 22 ones, all their matches have been pretty fun. A little surprising they're at 4 points. I thought maybe they'd be maybe 6 or 8 by now, but they'll probably catch up with a couple more wins here, and then they'll probably be at the 10 to 12 point range.
Yeah, like you mentioned, they are former IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions. I think they're a very underrated tag team. I'll see a lot of people see Tiger Mask, and there's kind of like, he's a, grumpy Tiger Mask because he's a New Japan dad. He eats a lot of losses, but when he's in there for Robbie Eagles, it's just kind of it looks weird on paper, but they've gelled together really well last year. Like, also, they won the titles, and so they've become a solid team here. But I think with them only being at 4 points right now, it shows just how strong this league is this year and just how many top teams are in this tournament, that you have former tag champs who are only at 4 points right now after 5 nights of league action. But again, like you said, I feel like they're going to pick up some more wins. There's still 5 matches left. 4 matches left for them, so they could end up with being 6 and 3, and ending up with 12 points, and being in a situation where they could squeaking in the finals if they could win their last 4 matches. But if they do lose one more, I think they're pretty much going to be out of the running.
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 more, I think they're mathematically eliminated, but I could see them getting at least 8 to 10 points, maybe 12 at the most. I don't really see them being in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I like the team of Eagles and Tiger Mask, but yeah, I do have a hard time just with the top of the teams there that are all 4-1 right now. I have a hard time seeing Flying Tiger getting past any of those teams right now and getting into a final spot. But because they were the former champs and great team, I definitely think they're going to end up towards the top of the block, either, like you said, with 10 or 12 points.
I can't see them at the finals, but I think they'll get the 12 points at the most.
Yeah, and they've been a solid team. There really hasn't been any story elements really with them, just working hard to try and win the tournament. And like you mentioned, they've had a lot of really just fun matchups. I would say a lot of their matches kind of are in that 3.5 star range. I mean, most of their matches are 10 minutes or so. So it's kind of quick, bang, bang action. Robbie Eagles flipping all over the place, doing his senton tope. And I would say probably my favorite match would probably be the Catch 2-2 match that happened on night 6.
Yeah, that one I like that one too. On night 6, that was my favorite one so far.
Nice. Let's take a look now at the Wild Hips team of Ryusuke Taguchi and the Wild Rhino Clark Connors. So they're also at 4 points with 2 wins, 3 losses. Night 1, they defeated Doki and Kanemaru. Night 3, they lost to Bushi and Teton. Night 4, they lost to Alex Zane and El Lindemann. On night 6, they lost to Ace Austin and Chris Bay. And then on night 7, they defeated Kevin Knight and Kushida.
So I'm not surprised to have 4 points. Taguchi can't get into his stick anymore. We're probably never going to get big match Taguchi anymore. Probably just be like Yano to just be a comedy wrestler. I can see them getting one more win, but I don't think they'll get any higher than 6 points.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of filling a role of kind of a comedy tag team here, and doing a lot of goofiness, like you mentioned in the match against Zayn and Lindemann, pulling the taco out of the trunk to try and lure Alex Zane to the backstage and get a loss there, but also that backfired, and they've also been bringing out like Sapporo beer out to the matches and been drinking like the beers like before the match or like in the middle of the matches. So it's been kind of a funny ha-ha kind of thing for these guys, and doing a lot of kind of funny antics throughout the match, which is fine. But I think for me, a little disappointing for somebody like Clark Connors, who I feel like showed a lot during that All-Atlantic 4-Way at Forbidden Door in this past summer for the AEW New Japan show, and he got over pretty big with that crowd and got a good crowd reaction there. And I feel like he's a guy that could be a future star for New Japan, and especially be a standout in this junior division, because he doesn't do a ton of flips. He's more of a power guy, and so it kind of stinks that he's being kind of saddled in this comedy role, and he's doing the comedy well, which is good and bad, because then if the more he does the comedy well, they might try to stick him in comedy roles, which I would rather see him in a more serious role and be pushed very strongly.
I can too. Like, I can see Clark Connors. I think he needs. I hope it's just a one-time thing for the tour, but after that, I think Clark Connors should just go on his own.
Yeah, but he has been killing people with the pounce during this tour. Like, he's been hitting some of the best pounces I've been seeing. The Chris Bay one, and there was somebody else, I think it might have been Robbie Eagles, where he hit them with the pounce and they're just like floating in the air perfectly, and then they come crashing down. So he's been hitting that move really good. And yeah, overall, I mean, not too much to really, talk about with this team. I mean, it's a lot of the Taguchi antics with the pants being pulled down and the butt stuff and them drinking the beer and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, if you like Taguchi, you like the funny ha-ha, I mean, they're a team to watch. But, I mean, if you're cherry picking, I mean, there's not really a ton of their matches, I would say, go out of your way to watch.
No, like, I mean, I like some fart jokes and butt jokes and stuff, but Taguchi just does it too much. But honestly, with their matches, there's not really much I can recommend going out to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think which one was my favorite out of the ones they've had. Let's see here. I mean, I would probably say if somebody had to watch one, I would probably say maybe the night 7 match with Kevin Knight and Kushida, because I felt like that one was a little bit more serious. Besides that, I think the rest of it is kind of skippable, or you can kind of just see the highlights for those.
Yeah, I think with Wild Hips, I think that one you can just see highlights, honestly.
All right, let's move on to the next team here. We're winding down on this junior tag league. Next team, Kushida and Kevin Knight. with 2 points, 1 win and 4 loss. So on night 1, they lost to Zayn and Lindemann. On night 3, they defeated the House of Torture, Dick Togo and Show. On night 4, they lost to Leo Rush and Yo. Night 6, they lost to Bushi and Teton. Night 7, like we mentioned, they lost to, actually, night 7, they defeated Kevin Knight and Kushida.
I like the team. I'm a little surprised at only at 2 points. I'm also a little surprised they lost to Wild Hips today. I thought they actually would get a win over them. But where Kevin Knight's still the young line, he'd be the pin eater. But I could see them staying as a team after the tour.
Yeah, especially after the night 7 show where they lost to Connors and Noguchi. On the night 7, we had Kevin Knight coming out in new gear, wearing like some orange track pants kind of gimmick, and it seems like he has graduated from the LA dojo in the middle of this tour. So now he has gear now. He's fully embracing his Jet nickname. And he's wearing the orange colors, so he looks like he's matching Kushida there, and looks like they're kind of forming almost like a new time splitters here. But yeah, that was kind of cool moment there for him to graduate and kind of get his gimmick. And overall, he's been very impressive on this tour. He has an incredible drop kick. We talked about this last week when we were reviewing Historic Crossover with Rich Latta and James Boyd, and we were talking about that opening match with the LA Dojo Noge Dojo and just how incredible his dropkick is. And even Shibata has said, there's a lot of money to be made with Kevin Knight's dropkick. You look at Okada's dropkick and the pop that gets, and like just the height that Knight's dropkick is, like he's going to make money with that. And Rich Latta was saying, there's Kazuchika Okada, and then there's Kevin Knight. So Knight he's been super impressive on this tour, even though they've lost a ton of matches. Of course, you expect that from somebody as a young lion, but it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the tournament goes going forward now that he has graduated and has a gimmick. Interesting. I know it looks like he's been doing like a lot of lucha libre type of maneuvers in this matchup. A lot of the kind of the dives and the flips and a lot of the kind of the rope walking stuff. So that's been a lot of fun for him, seeing him do that stuff too.
Yeah, I didn't impress with Kevin Knight, especially on Strong. Seen on Twitter, they said he graduated mid-tour, but I think they'll stick together after the tour. I think they'll be the new, like you said, new times, or come the time Jet splitters.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been kind of questioning, what is happening with Kushida, what they're going to do, and this could be a good thing to do with Kushida and Kevin Knight to establish, a new junior tag team, and kind of have Kushida bring Kevin Knight under his wing to do something there, and kind of have, like we said, kind of a new time splitter. Or, it could be the catalyst for a Kushida heel turn. You could have, Kushida at the end of this tour be frustrated over the losses with Kevin Knight, and then you think that he's gonna, form this new team and kind of take him under his wing, but he gets frustrated and turns on him, and then you get a feud that way.
I can see that.
Yeah, but we'll see which way they go. But for right now, Kushida is such a strong baby face. I think they might go the time splitters route with them. But it could go either way. But it'll be this seems a lot of fun to watch. They've had a lot of really fun matchups, and we did have a question here from Twitter from Philip Demon Powell at Terry's Boy. He says, "What do you guys think Kevin Knight's ceiling is in the junior division? Could he be a future IWGP Junior Champion?"
I think he could be a future junior heavyweight champ. I've been impressed with him. His draw kicks, Okada, you got some competition with Kevin Knight for beautiful draw kicks. And his ceiling, I could probably see him, probably not like Hiromu, not the ace of the division, but he'd probably be maybe the top 3 or 4 in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has definitely a spot in that junior division. I feel like he could be, one of the top foreigners in that division. We've talked about this before on the show that the junior division is one in New Japan that's usually built off the backbone of foreign stars. You look in the past, you had guys like Will Ospreay and Ricochet as the top guys, and Dragon Lee. You had a lot of top foreigners that really helped carry that division, and for guys like Hiromu and Taiji Ishimori to face off against. So I feel like Kevin Knight can slide in that role. I mean, I feel like we've been kind of missing that other top foreigner, and we've had Robbie Eagles, who's done a great job. But with Ospreay moving to heavyweight, Ricochet going to WWE, Dragon Lee not being able to come back, I mean, it opened up a lot of spots to get more foreigners in, and so I think Kevin Knight can fill one of those top foreigner spots. He's a fresh face, super athletic, super fast, with a lot of great dives, and he's incorporating that lucha libre stuff, and like we talked about the incredible drop kick. So yeah, I think in due time, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think he definitely can be a future junior champion, but I think the more he works Japan, he's going to continue to get better, and I think he's going to be a face of the junior division, and with his height and size, I think he eventually could also, surpass junior division and become a heavyweight.
I could see him be a junior champ, and I don't think he'd be like the ace, like the Tanahashi of the junior division, but I think he'd be like the main guys in the future.
Yeah. So really fun team to watch in this tour. I would say my favorite match for them from this week would probably be the match from night 4 against Leo Rush and Yo.
I did so if I had to pick 3, that would be 1, like no in order. The LJ one was pretty fun. I like that one, and I'd say the Sauce Hearts one would be my 3rd. Out of those, like for matches with them, that'd be the 3 I'd go check out.
Yeah. Then the last team here, House of Tortures, Sho and Dick Togo. They are dead last place, tied in last place actually, there's one more team after them. So they're tied in last place here with 0 points, 0-5. So on night 1, they lost to Flying Tiger. On night 3, they lost to Kevin Knight and Kushida. On night 4, they lost to Ace Austin, Chris Bay. On night 6, they lost to Zayn and Lindemann. And then on night 7, they lost to Catch 22.
So like I said, I'm not a big fan of House of Torture. They can go away. But the interference, it's for something like the Catch 22, it's just getting too much. But I get where the story's going. They're trying to like attack them for the match, try to get Evil and Yujiro to come out, but it fails every time. But it's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar story here with Sho and Dick Togo with Evil and Yujiro, where these guys, they're trying to cheat every match. They're trying to do the interference. They're trying to get the run-ins going, and it's just backfiring every night. There's miscommunications, especially with Sho and Dick Togo. They're kind of having something similar to like Kid and Coughlin, where they're bumping into each other, and they're not used to teaming on 2 and 2 together, and so they're having a lot of mishaps. The interference and cheating is backfiring, so that's what's caused them to be 0-5. So pretty much mathematically eliminated at this point. There's 4 matches left, so I mean they could end 4-5, but they would have to hope that everybody that's 4-1 right now loses, and hope that they have some kind of tiebreaker, which I don't think they do at this point, because they've pretty much lost to a lot of the top teams. Like they've already lost to Catch 22, they've lost to Zayn and Lindemann, they've lost to Ace Austin and Chris Bay, which are 3 of the teams that are 4-1. So they've already lost to majority of those teams. So they have a very tough road ahead of them of getting points and trying to be in contention. Like I don't think they're going to win. So they're gonna be just like Evil and Yujiro. They're gonna be playing spoiler. I think they're gonna stop some team from advancing into the finals.
That's what I think too. I think they're just going to play spoiler. They'll probably get a shocking win over one of the teams with the 8 points.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. But I mean, I do like this story here. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of House of Torture, and Josh and I have given our opinions on them and buried them when it's needed. But I do think the whole story here of all the teams have these guys scouted. They know that the interference is coming. They know the cheating is coming, and all the teams have been able to outsmart them, outwit them, and out-wrestle them. And it's made the baby faces look smarter, and it's made other heels, just more crafty than them. So I feel like it's helped elevate a lot of the teams in the field, the story that they're telling on both tournaments with both sets of teams.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, I get the story, like they're trying to like be the chicken shit heels, and then they're like attacking them for the match or backfire. But they're probably going to be playing spoiler at this rate, probably to limit like the high teams with like 6 points or 8 points and stuff. They're going to play spoiler towards the end of the tournament.
Yeah. And so then the other team that is with 0 points is Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Doki. So they're 0-5 on night 1. They lost to Wild Hips. Night 3, they lost to Bullet Club. Night 4, they lost to Flying Tiger. Night 6, they lost to Leo Russian Yo. And then on night 7, they lost to Bushi and Teton.
So I like the combo here. Kanemaru, who won the tag league last year with Despi. A little surprised they lost to Wild Hips. And then I'm not really surprised they lost to the other good teams. I mean, you can't win all. I wish they beat Wild Hips, but I mean, you figure with Doki in here, he was going to be the pin eater in the match, and then but they had some fun to good matches so far this tournament.
Yeah, the thing is, like, obviously Doki is very good. We're on the Doki bandwagon here, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, I feel, is a very underrated guy. Normally it's Kanemaru and Despi that's the team together, but Despi's in the junior 4-way. So I think Doki and Kanemaru are a good team. It's just that, again, with them being on 5, it just shows the strength of this tournament with all the top teams in here, and the fact that they have not been able to get a win yet, which puts them in a very similar role to Sho and Dictogo, where I feel like these guys are going to end up being spoiler for another team, and again, their only hope is to win their next 4 and to get to 4-5. But again, they've already lost to Chris Bay and Ace Austin. They've lost to Leo Russian Yo and Bushi and Teton. So that, again, they've lost, just like Sho and Dictogo, they've lost to a lot of top teams already. But again, unlike Sho and Dictogo, this team, I mean, has had a lot of entertaining matches and been very good. We always joke about Doki wanting to show out. He doesn't want to go back to slumming it in the dirty indies in Mexico that he was at, wrestling in those mud pits and that he came from Mexico. So him and Kanemaru have been working really hard, but they have not been able to put stuff together to get a win yet.
Yeah, I like the team. Kanemaru, I wasn't a big fan of him a couple years ago, but the last year or so, I've been slowly a fan, especially last year with him and Desperado. The short matches in Best Super Juniors. I could see them, like you said, getting about 8 points, maybe, but I don't think they will. They'll probably get maybe 6 at the most.
Yeah, I can definitely see them getting to that 6 point range, and playing spoiler. And I mean, they're the team that they're going to have a lot of good matches, but they're just not going to win. For me, my favorite from this week would be the Bushi and Teton match. I feel like Doki and Teton had a lot of really good interactions in that match, and Doki, he's killing it. He's doing all his his suplex de Luna and the daybreak DDT spots, stuff like that, and looking really good. But yeah, just can't put the pieces together.
Come on, Doki.
What was your favorite match from this stretch for them?
Oh, forgot to say that. So I'll just go in a 3. I say the LJ one from today. The Chaos match and the Bullet Club one was pretty fun.
Yeah, those were all really good. And like, yeah, you mentioned earlier too, like Leo and Doki had some good interactions and just some high speed spots there. So yeah, overall, a fun team to watch. They're not going to win the tournament. They're going to play spoiler. But yeah, good stuff here from Doki and Kanemaru.
They've been good. Let's hope get some points, guys. Come on.
A couple questions here from Ocock890. He says, what teams are your MVPs for each league so far?
Ooh. Super Junior Tag League, Chaos. They've been excellent. Catch 22. Austin and Bay. I've been great. Those are probably my top 3. LIJ be my 4th. If we're doing top 4, that'd be my 4 so far. World Tag League, Aussie Open, Suzuki Goon, Naito and Sonata, Bishamon. There's so many.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of really good teams on both sides of the league. I mean, if I had to pick one, so for MVP for the Junior Tag League, for me, overall, I would go with Catch 22. I feel like consistently they're the ones having the best matches every night. They're featured in the main event, so the Junior Tag Champs. So they're my MVPs of the Junior Tag League. But like you mentioned, there's a lot of other great teams. I mean, like you mentioned, Leo Rush and Yo have been great as well. It's also Ace Austin, Chris Bay. Pretty much all the teams that are 4-1 in the Junior Tag League have been really good. But for me, Catch 22 is a step ahead of those guys altogether. And then for the World Tag League, I agree with you. My MVP overall would be Aussie Open. They're the team that I feel like this whole tournament is just built around. They're having good matches, and they're getting that strong push right now. Yeah, you mentioned Bishamania. They're another solid team as well as Naito and Sonata. But yeah, I feel like overall, Aussie Open, it's all about the United Empire in both leagues.
It is. I mean, you got 2 of them in World Tag, and you got the Junior Tag Champs in there, but it's just hard to pick one.
Yeah. So next question from A-Night208. He says, what is your guess for what the finals will be? I think it'll be Bullet Club vs. Catch 22 in the Super Junior Tag League and Bishamon vs. Aussie Open in the World Tag League.
Ooh. So I agree for also World Tag. So World Tag League, I do agree with the Aussie Open part. Digimon, I can see, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably say LIJ.
What about for juniors?
Oh, juniors. Catch 22, I don't see them in the finals because we're the champs. Because if they lose, they got to literally redefend them at Wrestle Kingdom. I do see Bullet Club in there. If it's not LIJ, like Bubushi and Teton, I could see Chaos. That's the other I was thinking of. Rush and Yo in there.
Yeah. For me, so World Tag League, yeah, I think it's going to be... Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's going to be Aussie Open. Actually, no, I think it's going to be Aussie Open in TMDK. That's going to be the finals. I think Naito and Sonata, that Bishamon loss, I think it's going to keep them out of the final. So I think we'll get that Aussie Open TMDK match. And then on the junior side of things, yeah, I think it's going to be Bullet Club and Leo Rush and Yo. So Leo and Yo have already beaten Bullet Club. So if they do that finals, you give a chance for Bullet Club to get the win back, and then Bullet Club gets into the title match, and then Leo and Yo can say, hey, we beat you guys earlier in the tournament, we should get in the title match too, and then you have Bushi and Teton that beat the champ, so you can get your 4-way title match that way.
I can see it. I wouldn't disagree. It's a lot of good teams, just hard to pick them.
Yeah, so now let's take a look at the schedule for the shows that are coming up this next week. So on November 30th, action will pick back up with night 8 of the tour, which will be a World Tag League night. We'll have Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd against Bad Luck Fale and Chase, Archer and Suzuki versus Aaron Henare and Great-O-Khan, Aussie Open versus Evil and Yujiro, TMDK versus Sonata and Naito, and Bishamon against the Bebop tag team of Tanahashi and Toru Yano. Then on night 9, December 2nd, we have both tournaments featured. So we'll have Kevin Knight and Kushida versus Doki and Kanemaru, Bebop tag team versus Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin, Leo Rush and Yo versus Dick Togo and Sho, Hanare and Okan versus Yujiro and Evil, Flying Tiger versus Chris Bay and Ace Austin, TMDK versus Archer and Suzuki, El Lindemann and Zayn versus Teton and Bushi, Bishamon versus Chase and Fale, Wild Hips versus Catch 2-2, and the main event will be Sonata and Naito versus Aussie Open. And then on night 10, December 3rd, World Tag League night, we'll have Gabe Kidd and Coughlin versus Aussie Open, TMDK versus Chase and Fale, Bishamon versus Hanare and Okan, Archer and Suzuki versus Yujiro and Evil, and then the Bebop tag team versus Sonata and Naito. Night 11, December 4th, will be a Junior Tag League night. We'll have Kevin Knight and Kushida versus Chris Bay and Ace Austin, Wild Hips versus Flying Tiger, Teton and Bushi versus Dick Togo and Sho, Leo Rush and Yo versus Lindemann and Zayn, and then Catch 2-2 versus Doki and Kanemaru. And then night 12, December 5th, World Tag League night, we got Gabe Kidd and Coughlin versus Yujiro and Evil, Hanare and Okan versus Aussie Open, Sonata and Naito versus Chase and Fale, Bishamon versus Archer and Suzuki, and then the Bebop tag team versus TMDK. Ethan, are there any matches that in particular stand out to you that you're really looking forward to for next week?
Let's see. So for night 8, I can Sukun United Empire sounds good. The Team DK now J match sounds good. Night 9. Oh, that's both nights. So for Super Junior Tag League, the night Kushida and Suzuki-gun match looks interesting. The Flying Tigers Bullet Club one sounds good. And then same with LAJ and Sauce Hearts. And then for World Tag League, LAJ and Aussie Open. And Team DK and Suzuki-gun. Oh, and I missed a few there. And for night 10, Kid and Coughlin and Aussie Open sounds really good. And Bebop tag team against LAJ. Night 11, pretty much all of the Super Junior Tag League matches except for Hips and Flying Tigers. And then for night 12, the Battle of the United Empire sounds really good, and Bishamon against Suzuki-gun.
Yeah, and definitely going to be looking towards night 12 when we have United Empire Clash. I think it's the first time that we've ever seen any of the United Empire guys face off against each other. So it's going to be interesting to see what that dynamic is going to be like. So yeah, definitely Hanare and Okan versus Aussie Open will be one to look out for. I think on night 11, Leo Rush and Yo versus Lindemann and Zayn will probably be a standout match there. Night 10, I agree with you. I think Kid and Coughlin versus Aussie Open is going to be a really fun matchup. Also, Bishamon versus Hanare and Okan. Night 9, Lindemann and Zayn versus Teton and Bushi should be a lot of fun. I mean, the main event's pretty big with LIJ versus Aussie Open. That's a very important matchup there for tiebreakers and points in that tournament. So that should be a fun one to stay tuned to. Night 8, let's see here. Probably Suzuki-gun, Archer and Suzuki versus Hanare and Okan. That or either a TMDK versus Naito and Sonata will probably be the standouts from that night.
That's most of them sound good. The Super Junior Tag League night, which night was that I seen? Night 11. All of them I'm looking except for the Wild Hubs Flying and the House of Torture LIJ one.
Yeah.
But they might prove me wrong.
All right, let's jump into this past week's New Japan Strong. So we had the final night of the New Japan Showdown tour that they've been doing. Show opened up. We had Aussie Open defeating Greg Sharp and Jacob Austin Young. 5 minutes, 51 seconds. Rock Hard, Juice Robinson defeated Jake Something. 10 minutes and 44 seconds. And then Switchblade Jay White, he defeats Fred Rosser, 19 minutes and 22 seconds. It was a big champion versus champion main event. So, Ethan, what did you think about this past week's Strong?
The last episode of the Strong for the new Showdown tour was actually pretty good. I did like the champion versus champ match. The Juice and Jake Something match was pretty good. I like the aftermatch where Blake Christian went after Juice after their match for next week. Aussie Open's match was pretty much a squash. And then the main event, where that one, I probably said that was match of the night out of the 3 matches. And I like the post match where White said, since I beat him, I was going to get a title match, but he decided not to. Then he tricked us about Tom Lawler. It's that JR Kratos comes out and lays him out. Set up their title match for the next tour.
Yeah. Jay was saying he owes a favor to Tom Lawler and says that Tom requested something of him for the next challenger, and he ends up being JR Kratos from Team Filthy. So he's gonna get the next title match on the next tour. The Juice Jake Something match was fun, like you mentioned. There was that post match angle. Blake Christian comes out and attacks Juice, and that sets up a match for the next tour. And then Aussie Open, like you mentioned, pretty much a quick squash on Greg Sharp and Jacob Austin Young, who are 2 guys who have been featured on the last couple of Strong tapings. But this was clearly to get some heat back for Aussie Open after losing the Strong tag team titles. So getting them strong again and potentially getting them in line for a strong tag team title match in the future.
Yeah, I can see Aussie Open getting a rematch for their Strong Boy tag title match. The Strong Boy title match, I've been a fan of Kratos. I can't wait for that match to happen. And then we'll get Rob, Juice, and Blake. I think that was the only match they said for next week, I believe, was the only match they said. The Jay and Fred match was really good, but I think the interesting thing to me, which I expected, was just, obviously Jay was more over in the match than Fred. And, last week we were talking about, Fred is calling himself the People's Champ, but, he gave himself that name. And in this match, Jay White, the heel, was, getting cheered more than him. People were chanting, "Thank you, Jay. This is Jay's house," and, big Jay White chants. And so it seemed like the crowd was more into the Jay and wanted Jay to win, which he did win. Which in a way, obviously, I think the IWGP champ should beat the Strong champ pretty much any day, but it does kind of make it the Strong champ and Strong feel a little bit lower than overall proper New Japan, which I think you want to try and elevate Strong. So I don't know if this was the best timing to do this match, or if it would have been better in some kind of tag situation. But overall, it was a pretty good main event. Yeah, I did like the main event, and like you said, I think it was a little too early. I mean, when they made the match, I figured Jay White wasn't losing because he's like the main title, where Strong title was just debuted last year. It kind of reminds me of those Survivor Series matches there where they did the WWE champion against the Universal champion or the world champion. It just wasn't the right time. I think maybe like down the line, or if Rosser wasn't the Strong weight champ, maybe, but I think it was just too soon. But it was still a good match though.
Yeah, and so we set things up. We got Rosser defending against JR Kratos next, and so we'll see what is next for Jay White on the road to Wrestle Kingdom and building up this match with Kazuchika Okada. So we'll jump into the news now. So the Never Openweight Championship will be defended on the final night of the World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League tournaments. Karl Anderson posted on social media last Tuesday saying that he will defend his title on the December 14th show from the Sendai Sun Plaza Hall in Miyagi, Japan. And New Japan confirmed that last Wednesday, saying that Anderson's challenger will be Hikuleo. So finally getting that never title match.
Finally. But
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's glad he had finally defend the title after that first defense against Tanahashi, which was shockingly bad. Mochi Tanahashi can bring anybody to at least a good match, but I don't know about that last title match. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough matchup, and yeah, I'm glad we're finally getting the defense here after months of speculation on what's going on, and I'm glad too that it's not happening at Wrestle Kingdom, and we don't have to waste a Tokyo Dome match on Karl Anderson. So yeah, glad it's happening here at the Tag League Finals, and Hikuleo can get his big win, and then we can move on to better things.
Yeah, and then just to add on to speaking of the finals, there they added a 6-man tag as well with Okada and White at each corner.
Oh, it's a 6-man, right?
Yeah, it's him. It's Okada, Tamatong, and Wado against White, Ishimori, and Geto.
Yeah, so that'll be one of the last matches, building up for the Jay White Okada match. Also, they're building up the junior match. We're having Wato and Ishimori in there.
Yeah, it's pretty much a big preview just for the junior and world title matches.
Yeah. Then other news, a second Wrestle Kingdom event has been announced. NJPW announced this past Thursday morning that a second show will be held January 21st at the Yokohama Arena. If we remember last year, night 3 of Wrestle Kingdom was also at Yokohama, and that was the Noah versus New Japan show. And there's rumors going around that this show will be potentially Forbidden Door 2 with AEW versus New Japan. Some AEW guys will be in Japan around that time, Darby and Sting. So it's possible that AEW is going to do a Forbidden Door 2 of New Japan on this show. Dynamite that week is somewhere in California, so that's would be an easy flight for them to fly over from Wednesday to get over there in time for the 21st. I think it's a Saturday, to do this potential Forbidden Door 2. What do you think about that?
I can see that. Well, I mean, we're already getting Omega fighting Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. We're getting FTR defend the tag titles against whoever wins World Tag League. It's just, but I can see them doing a Forbidden Door number 2 at Yokohama Arena. But I also seen there was a rumor of doing the same thing as this year with New Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah. I kind of hope they don't. I kind of prefer if they did AEW again.
Yeah, I feel like the Noah thing has kind of lost its steam. I feel like it was going into the beginning of beginning of this year. Noah had picked up a lot of popularity. There was a lot of fans that are really digging what Noah was doing, but I feel like they've lost a ton of steam this year. And I think the bigger show to do would be to do the AEW show. So hopefully that is the case, and we'll keep you posted if we hear anything more before that is officially announced. In other news, New Japan announced last Monday that the final KPW 22 match will take place at Takataichi's joint 50th anniversary event on NJPW World Pay-Per-View on Monday, December 19th. Shingo Takagi will defend the title against Taichi in a match with a stipulation yet to be announced. On the undercards, they have been teasing potentially some kind of no count out, or maybe a last man standing, or some kind of no DQ. There's been a lot of count outs and DQ finishes on the undercard, so it'll be something revolving around that. But yeah, to your question earlier, this is the the official last KOPW match. So the winner of this match will be the official KOPW for 2022.
Oh, I like their both matches, but I can't see them not stinking up the joint with the third one. A little surprising they are doing their last KOPW on the Taka Taichi joint show. I thought they maybe ended at the Road to Tokyo Dome, but I mean, I'll take it. I can't. These two don't have bad matches. Maybe they'll do another count pinfall match again.
Yeah, I mean, these guys work great together, and I'm assuming it'll be the main event for this show, so they'll get plenty of time. So yeah, it should end up being a great matchup. Then New Japan and Stardom Historic Crossover is now available on NJPW World and Stardom World in both Japanese and English. So if you haven't seen that yet, you can now watch that with your subscription to either one of those services. Roppongi Vice will be teaming up. Our good friend Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta will be at the December 11th Nemesis Strong tapings. We've had several names announced for the 2023 Fantastica Mania Tour. So that's the tour that CMLL does with New Japan. So we'll have Mystico, Volador Jr., Teton, Soberano Jr., Dulce Gardenia, Rey Cometa, Ultimo Guerrero, Hechicero, Atlantis Jr., Templario, Barbio Cavanario, Okamura, Magia Blanca, Suicida, and El Hijo del Villano 3 as names announced for that tour. So that should be pretty fun. Glad to have Fantastica Mania back on the schedule for next year. COVID had stopped that tour the last couple of years, so glad it's back. I'm glad we're getting a lot of these top CMLL guys back in Japan.
Oh, I can't wait for the tour. It's been a long time. That was my favorite tours of the last few years. Well, I mean, because of COVID, they haven't, but I'm excited for them to come back.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Pro Wrestling Noah has confirmed that Muta will be teaming up with Sting and Darby Allin in his retirement match on Sunday, January 22nd, 2023. Their opponents have yet to be announced. Then Kenta has a lot of outside matches coming up. So first of all, he's going to be reuniting with Marufuji to face Segura and Kojima for the GHC tag team titles on January 1st. That's the same show. It's going to have Muta versus Nakamura. Then Kenta will be going to Wrestling Revolver on December 3rd to face Speedball Mike Bailey at their season finale show. Then he will face off against Loki at House of Glory Revelations on December 17th. Switchblade Jay White will be going over to IWS to face off against a young up-and-comer Zach Patterson on December 3rd at the IWS Season Beating Show. And then there will be a special event that will be held on December 28th at Sumo Hall in the memory of the late Antonio Inoki. Former UFC champion Josh Barnett and former Bellator champion Rafael Lovato Jr. will be in action at that special event. Then we have one question here, and we'll wrap things up. So a question here from Wiz Factor says, it looks like Yuya Uemura is now hashtag All Impact as a part of the next phase in his excursion. What do you think is Yuya's ceiling as a full-time member of the Impact roster? Is a title shot against Josh Alexander in the cards? Will Yuya be more over with the Impact fan base than that Green Hornet knockoff from 10 years ago?
Okay, I forgot about that Green Hornet knockoff gimmick from Okada from 10 years ago.
Yeah, the Okato, whatever they were doing.
I try to forget that. So the first part, Extortion, I think he's been in the X Division lately. I could see him winning the X Division title before challenging for the world title, the Impact World title. But I think I say X Division for right now, and then maybe in the world title picture soon.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of great work in the X Division. I saw a promo of him and Delirious from formerly of Ring of Honor, so he might be doing some tag team stuff as well. But yeah, I think Impact is a good place for him to be right now, a good place for him to get some experience and work on a lot of very experienced and talented guys. So yeah, I think he could definitely be a standout in the X Division, like you mentioned. I could see him getting a title shot with Josh Alexander some point in the future. And Impact, they are handling his push way better than they handled Okada back in the day with the Okado gimmick when he was with Samoa Joe. So I don't think we have to worry with any issues in the handling of that. So yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful for Uemura's future. I think he has the potential to be a future ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I think this Impact excursion is going to help him out.
Yeah, I do too. For the title shot, I think it's in the cards. Yes, I do. And he'll be way more over than the knockoff.
Nice. Well, that's it for the questions. Recommended match of the week. We're going to hold that off for this week. And next week when Josh comes back, we will talk about our picks from last week. So Ethan, thanks so much, man, for coming in and filling in for Josh this week and talking through World Tag League, Super Junior Tag League. Go ahead and tell our listeners where they can find you online, and go ahead and get any other plugs in.
All right, well, no problem for being on the show. Is big fan of the show. Always an honor. If you ever need it, don't be afraid to message me. Follow me on Twitter at wrestling_fan_9. You can follow me on my wrestling site, wrestlingwithethan.wordpress.com. Follow me on PWMania as well, where I cover W Raw, NXT, Dark Elevation, New Japan, All Japan results, Dragon Gate, Stardom results. Follow me on Pro Wrestling Posts, where I cover NWA and Impact, and I also do classic reviews of All Japan Pro Wrestling and ECW.
Nice. So yeah, go ahead and check Ethan out. You're a wrestling fan 9 on Twitter. We got to know, is there a wrestling fan 1 through 8?
No. No, we're not the Dark Order here, Jeremy.
Are you doing some kind of lucha gimmick?
No. Canadian lucha. Let's go with that.
So you're El Generico.
I've been told that.
Well, Ethan, yeah, thanks again for coming on the show. Make sure you guys check him out and all the great work that he's doing online there for all those wrestling results and recaps. So next week, Josh will be back on the show, and we'll go over the upcoming World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League nights, and I think we'll probably give predictions for the finals at that time as well. So if you enjoyed today's show, please consider making a donation by visiting socialsuplex.com/donate and click on the donate button under the Keeping It Strong Style logo. Make sure you connect with us on social media. On Twitter, the show is at KI Strong Style. You can follow me at Jeremy L. Donovan. Follow the network at Social Suplex. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Social Suplex. Join us in the Wrestling Squared Circle group, facebook.com/group/Wrestling Squared Circle. On Instagram, we're at Social Suplex. On Reddit, I'm the Pro Black Guy. Josh is Keeping It Strong Style. You can email me, Jeremy, at socialsuplex.com. Check out all the other shows that we have here on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. One Nation Radio, hosted by Rich Latta and James Boyd. The Grave Consequences, hosted by Caleb and Maserati. All Things Elite, hosted by Floyd and Austin. The AW Match Guy, hosted by Sir Sam. And the Great Match Generator, hosted by Danny Kukler. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating and review. We'll catch you next week on Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts.
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.
This holiday, whether you're making a Kroger Simple Truth Turkey for 40 or a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Choose from a great selection of digital coupons and use them up to 5 times in one transaction. Check our app for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It only happens once a year. JCPenney's Cyber Deals are back in store and at jcp.com. Through Wednesday, fill your cart with deals like Yes Please Diamonds and Gemstones, now $19.99 each. Or use your coupon inside the JCP app to save up to 50% on small appliances and cookware from top brands like Keurig, Cuisinart, Calphalon, and more. We got your holiday. JCPenney offers good on select items through 11/30. Exclusions apply. Jewelry excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.